And now, the case of the larcenous LARK. It's late Wednesday night in New York, and in Arnie Kessler's very private gambling club on East 69th Street, tall, handsome, gray-haired George Watkins stands at the end of the dice table shaking the dice cup in his manicured hand and makes his roll.
5's your number.
Righto.
Once again, Watkins shakes the cup.
Come on, little 5.
And makes his roll.
7.
Watkins smiles wryly, shrugs lightly, puts down the cup, and pushes through the crowd. He finds the door to Kessler's private office open and walks in. Kessler is seated at the desk.
Oh, Watkins. Sit down.
Thanks.
How'd it go tonight?
Well, for you, fine. I'm clean.
Tough luck.
Oh, bound to change. How's my credit?
Strained to the limit. I'm afraid I'll have to close the book on you.
That's all I wanted to know. Good evening, Kessler.
You're down for 35 grand, Watkins. That's a lot of groceries.
I understand. I'm a realist, Kessler. Don't fool myself. No false pride, so I have to face the fact. The moment I'm no big shot, I'm flat. Bum investment. I'm surprised you carried me this far.
Oh, you'll pay off.
I'm glad you're so sure.
It's my business to be sure.
In that case, a little more credit?
Now, let's not overdo a good thing, chum. Got to draw the line somewhere, you know. You just pay that 35 and you can have all the credit you like.
All right. I'll get it.
You bet you will, Watkins. You bet.
Rex, here you are. Just sign these papers and I'll run along.
Just a minute, Watkins. Reader, get this. How do you like this phrase? Da-da-dee, da-da-da. You're right, it's corny. Maybe it's better like this. Da-da-dee, da-da-da. No, it was better before. Da-da-dee.
Rex, please, I've got to be going.
Okay, Watkins. Give me the papers.
Here you are. Here's the pen.
Okay. You know, it's funny, I had it the right way in my head, but it's gone. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. No. I tell you, if I could remember, it's terrific.
All right, Rex, but look what you're doing.
Signing my name. I gotta look for that.
Don't you even read what you're signing?
I can't be bothered. That's what I pay Watkins for, my business manager, huh, Watkins?
That's right. Now these checks.
Right.
You'd think you'd be interested.
Interested? In whereases and double entries and capital gains? I say it's spinach and to Watkins with it. Okay, Watkins, there you are.
Righto. Now you can get back to your work. So long, Rex. Goodbye, Miss Long.
Yeah, be seeing you.
Bye.
You gotta catch it. It's a natural, believe me.
What do you know about him?
Who?
Watkins.
Oh, great. Saved me nearly 10 grand in income taxes last year.
If you don't even check on him,
Rita, I know what I'm doing. I make the moolah. Watkins sees that I don't spend it faster than I make it. That's
Who's
all.
to see he doesn't spend it?
Oh, for the love of Pete, Rita.
I mean it. If you expect me to marry you, got to have some sense of responsibility.
Yeah, sure. Baby, there it is. I know I'd get it. You like?
Not bad.
Not bad. It's great.
What are you doing?
Calling my no good of an agent?
Rex, I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
you.
not now, honey, not now.
Hello?
Halloran, listen, I've got a number, even you'll be able to sell it.
Who is it?
Who is it? The Cole Porter of the 50s. I'm telling you, I've got something that'll make you.
Rex?
Who else?
Look, Rex, before you get all
Now, will you
housed up-
shut up? You haven't even heard it yet. Goes with those lyrics I showed you yesterday. Now, listen. Did you hear?
Yes? Yes?
Well?
It's a nice tune, Rex, but you know that you
No
can't...
buts, Halloran. This is it. How soon can you get it to Sinatra?
Be reasonable, Rex. We can't...
Now, look, I don't want any argument. All the time I bang out songs that sell themselves, you try to sit on them. If it wasn't for that contract, believe me, brother, you'd be out, but fast.
Listen to the cornball. Where were you before I took you over? Strictly minor leagues. Now it's the big leagues and you're beating them, huh? You got a nice tune. I'll do what I can.
Now, look, shut up. I want you over here this afternoon, understand? That creep always got to give me conversation. You'd think a guy'd get some encouragement once in a while, but no, nice tune, he says. And you won't even listen. Got to yap about what?
I listen, Rex. It's just that I'm worried. Do you have to turn everything over to Watkins?
All right, look, I'll take it once more, slow. Now try to dig it this time, baby, will you? When you're getting the chips, you hire yourself a business manager. Everybody does it. I'm not the only one.
Thanks so much for telling me. But everybody doesn't just sign papers and checks without even knowing what they are.
All right, let's not get in a hassle about it, huh?
Well, if we're going to get married...
Who says we're going to get married?
Rex!
Well, if it's going to be nag, nag, nag all the time...
You're not serious.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
Well, I was only trying to be helpful. I don't see why you have...
Oh, for Pete's sake. Look, baby, I got a great idea banging around in my head. I want to get it on paper. Do you have to pitch a hissy now?
I'm sorry, Rex. I just...
Now, will you cut it out? Honey, look. Doggone it, listen, will you? All right, I'll call Watkins. I'll get an appointment, see. He'll explain just how I stand financially, black and white. Get it all figured out, see. Now, will you please turn off the Niagara and let me get to work?
Oh, Kessler.
Hello, Watkins. Mind if I come in?
No, of course not.
Thanks.
As a matter of fact, I have something for you.
Glad to hear it.
Yes. Here you are.
1, 2, 3, 4, $5,000. Good. That leaves an even 30.
It may take a little time.
Oh, that's all right. Just so long as you settle up before you leave town.
Leave town? What makes you
You bought a ticket for Chicago this morning.
How do you know? Have you been having me followed?
Let's just say I have a very sensitive Ouija board, You see, Watkins, when I have money outstanding, I like to keep in touch. That's why I don't want you going away until the account is closed.
I should have expected this. Very well, Kessler, you've got me. No use denying there's the ticket. I was leaving. As a matter of fact, I'm on a bit of a spot. Let's face it, I'm trapped.
How so?
Well, I'll tell you. Always was one for cards on the table. It's like this. That $5,000 I just paid you came from Rex Elber. Only Elber doesn't know it. I had counted on him for considerably more. From time to time, you understand. You can't rush these things or they show up.
Well?
Well, Elber called a few minutes ago, wants to go over the account. I don't know what's gotten into him all of a sudden, but there it is. Have to face it. He wants an accounting, and I can't possibly explain the check I cashed. Well, if it hadn't happened so fast...
So you were going to run out?
Well, what can I do? Perhaps if you give me back that $5,000 and I return it to Rex, he may not press the charges.
Sure. I blow $5,000, and if Elber decides not to play ball, you're in the soup anyhow.
Well, it was a thought.
I don't call that thinking.
Well, what can I do?
Elber isn't your only client. You have others. That's why I gave you credit.
Now, they watch closer. Still, I suppose over a period of time, I could raise the rest.
Take your time. I won't rush things so long as I get payments on account like this every so often.
But I don't have time. That's just it. Elber wants a showdown today.
Well, can't you stall him?
No, not for long. Only I could keep him from asking about that check. There must be something I can do.
Not only there must be, Watkins. There better be.
Come in, door's open. Okay, now what can I do? Hey, wait a minute. Hey, what's the idea?
Yeah?
This where Mike Waring lives, the Falcon?
Yeah.
You him?
I'm he.
Well, Halloran's my name, Vic Halloran, Rex Elba's agent.
Congratulations.
On what?
Being Elba's agent. He must be a gold mine.
Golden goose, more like. Somebody killed him.
Oh?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I need a detective. Heard a lot about you. Always figure anybody has a reputation, he must have something on the ball.
Well, I'll concede the point. Shall we go inside and talk business?
No need. I'll only be a minute. I discovered the body, see? So I'm on the spot. Cops just put me through the ringer.
Any reason you should be suspected, other than discovering the body?
They suspect everybody.
Oh, and you've got nothing to worry about. No more than anybody else.
All right. It's like this, see? Who likes his agent? All the time gripes. How come you aren't doing more for me? Rex and me had words often. Loud words. But he's my meal ticket. I'm going to knock off my own meal ticket?
Ah, yes, the golden goose.
Get on it, will you, Waring?
Okay, Halloran.
Try Rita Vaughn, warbler at the Zigzag Club.
You think she did it?
She's mixed up in it.
How do you know?
She's a dame. Rex is current. And believe me, in a thing like this, always include the dame in.
I'll make a note of it.
Dames are trouble. You can count on it. Nothing but trouble.
Halloran, you're speaking of the women I love.
Take it from me, Waring. Nothing but trouble.
Spoken like a confirmed bachelor.
Bachelor. I'm paying alimony 3 ways. Now get on it, Waring, will you?
Mike Waring has been in Vic Halloran's employ for 20 minutes. Just long enough to get from his own place to the Zigzag Club, where Rita Vaughn has just admitted him to her dressing room.
All right, Mr. Waring, now what is it?
Well, there's no question about it. You're a dame.
What a detective.
And dames are trouble.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. I have it on the authority of a 3-time loser.
And you're looking for trouble?
Rex Elba's trouble. Were you it?
I was his dame,
Mm-hmm.
but I had nothing to do with his death.
Uh-huh.
So if that's all you want, you might as well run along.
Who said it's all I want?
I can tell you who killed Rex, if that's what you want.
Well, I'd like to get around to that, Angel, but I'm in no hurry.
His business manager, George Watkins.
Why do you say that?
Rex had an appointment with Watkins today to check on Watkins' handling of Rex's affairs. The murder was a little too opportune to be a coincidence.
All right, Rita, I'll check on it.
Well, you can't check on it in here.
Hey, you seem in a hurry to get rid of me.
I'm on in a few minutes. I'd like to get ready.
And the show must go on.
You said it, Mr. Waring. Maybe you think I'm taking Rex's death too... Maybe you think it doesn't mean anything. But Oh, get out of here, will you?
Hello, is George Watkins around?
Who wants to know?
Mike Waring.
Well, the Falcon. This is an unexpected pleasure.
You must be Arnie Kessler.
I must be. Can I offer you a drink?
No, thanks.
You get around a lot.
33.
How come you got around here?
Could be I like roulette.
Oh, you know better than the buck the house percentage, Waring.
That's no way to encourage business.
Some kinds of business I can do without. So you're looking for George Watkins, huh?
Yeah, I understand he's a regular patron here. I wanted to confirm it.
You expect an answer from me?
No, I guess not.
Is that all you wanted?
Well, I'd like to know how Watkins was doing. Yeah, well, I didn't think you'd tell me.
I'm not crazy. I start talking about my client's affairs, I'd be out of business fast.
Well, in that case, I guess I'm just wasting my time around here.
I'm glad you realize it.
Might as well be running.
Oh, no need to run, Waring. You can walk, as long as it's to the nearest exit.
Hello?
Hello, Watkins. This is Arnie Kessler.
Yes, Kessler. What is it?
Who knew that Rex Elba wanted an accounting with you today?
Well, I didn't know anyone did, except you. Why?
Mike Waring was just here, the Falcon. He guessed you'd been losing at the tables.
Oh, dear.
Relax. He's still guessing. I didn't give him anything.
But if he's checking...
I don't think he can prove anything, but I thought you ought to know.
Yes. Thanks, Kessler. But who could have put him on to... Of course. That girl.
What girl?
Rita Vaughn. Never did care for her style of singing. Maybe I can figure a way to make her change her tune. Rita.
Oh, Mr. Waring, back again, huh?
Yeah, I thought I'd catch the last show. But as long as you're table hopping, how about perching at mine for a while?
Well, I only have a minute.
I'll settle for that.
All right.
I've been checking on Watkins.
Find out anything?
Uh-huh. He likes to gamble.
Oh, well, that could explain...
What's wrong?
Speak of the devil. Hello, Mr. Watkins.
Hello, Rita. Am I interrupting anything? Yes, you certainly are. But sit down, you old devil. I beg your pardon?
Mr. Watkins, this is Michael Waring.
Waring? Oh, yes. Yes, I've heard of you. From Arnie Kessler? Why do you ask that? Why don't you answer it? I want to talk to Rita. Get in line. I was here first.
I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint both of you. Time for my number. See you later.
Has Rita been talking about me, Waring? Ask Rita. I intend to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now here she is. The little lady you've all been waiting for to play and sing for you, Rita Vaughn.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. Folks, I have something that I hope will be a treat for you. It's a brand new number that I wrote myself. And here it is for the first time anywhere. I hope you like it.
I wonder why she didn't come back to the table, Waring. She said something scared her. Didn't you see her face when she left the floor, Watkins? No, I didn't notice. That's why I wanted to get back here to the dressing room. There it is. Somebody's in there. Yeah. Look out, Watkins. Let's see if this door's unlocked. Yeah, it is.
Mr. Waring.
Yes, Rita. Come to take you in my arms.
Let go.
Not while you're waving shooting irons.
Sorry, Waring. She missed.
Yeah, so I see, Halloran. But let's not give her another shot at you. What are you doing here, anyway?
Telling her off. She's a crook.
He hit me. That's why I grabbed the gun. It was self-defense.
She's a crook, a grave robber.
Did you hit her?
We were arguing.
Did you hit her?
What difference
Did
does
you
it...
hit her, Halloran?
Well, maybe I did.
Then the gunplay really was self-defense.
I told you.
Uh-huh, but I want Halloran to tell me.
Well, yes, it was.
All right. Then I can let her go. Much as I enjoy holding you in my arms, Rita, I like it under different circumstances. Now, what went on in here?
Well, when I heard her singing that song...
Did you hear? I didn't see you in the club.
I was over at the side, near the door.
All right, you heard the song.
Yeah, she said it was her song. She made it up.
I did.
Rex called me this morning, all hopped up. Here's a new number. Plays it for me over the phone. It's this very song, Waring. This very song.
I played it for Rex. That's where he got it.
He said it was his.
We were going to publish it under his name. We thought it would be more popular.
Look, I know Rex's style. You can't
I
tell
know
me...
his style, too. I was influenced by it, I admit that. But I wrote that song.
That's a lie.
Well, even if it is, Halloran, is that any call to slug the girl? Or did you just toss that in because you don't like Dane?
I couldn't help blowing my lid, Waring. I'm sorry, but this crooked dame
All right, hold it. Rita, you say you made up this song?
Yes.
When?
This morning. Rex was working on a tune. It was something like this one, but not the same. Watkins, you were there, you remember.
Yes.
Well, then Watkins left, and Rex and I were talking, and all of a sudden it came to me.
And you played it for Rex?
Yes.
And he played it for Halloran?
Yes, and he told me that...
I know what he told you. Did you play it for anyone else, Rita, until tonight?
No.
And it's just your word against Halloran's.
Well, yes,
I don't know what you hope to prove, Waring. Each one will stick to his own story. Oh, I think I've proved plenty, Watkins. What? Who killed Rex Elder. You what? I've proved who killed Rex Elder. Maybe that isn't as important as who wrote the music, but it should determine who's going to have to face it.
Who, Waring?
Well, considering that Watkins is in deep to Kessler... Where'd you get that idea? Maybe from Kessler himself. You couldn't. Why not? Because I don't owe him. That's not what Kessler told me, Watkins. He didn't tell you anything. What makes you so sure? He told me he didn't. And there must be something he could... Rita, look out! Too late, Waring. I've got the gun from her. Now, what good do you think it's going to do you? Well, there's one sure thing. Won't do you any good if you make a move. So stay where you are, all of you. I'm getting out of here.
15 minutes have passed since George Watkins grabbed Rita's gun and beat a hasty retreat from the Zigzag Club. Mike has used that time to hurry to Arnie Kessler's apartment, where Kessler's thug Rocky has just ushered him in.
Here he is, Mr. Kessler.
Yeah. All right, Waring. What is it this time?
Well, I put you on kind of a spot, Kessler. I figured I ought to tell you.
What kind of a spot?
I told George Watkins you tipped me about his owing you. He grabbed a gun and cleared out. I thought he might come here.
Thanks for the warning. I can take care of myself.
Yeah, sure. Still, I thought you ought to know.
All right. But how come he fell for your bluff?
Oh, I guess he's out of his element. I imagine that until today, except for weakness for gambling, Watkins stuck pretty close to the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And since he really is in hock to you,
Is he?
his running out ought to clinch it.
How do I know he ran out? Just because you say so?
Well, I see you're not as green as Watkins.
Disappointed?
No, I expected it. Well, there could be the answer to if I'm bluffing.
Yeah. Rocky.
Okay, Mr. Kessler.
And just in case Waring isn't bluffing you, that's Watkins. Check him for artillery.
Right.
I want to see Kessler.
Sure. Turn around.
Why?
So far, you're right, Waring. It's Watkins.
And when you get to know me better, Kessler, you'll never doubt me.
Not bad.
All right, Mr. Kessler, here he is. And here's his heater.
Waring.
Hello, Watkins. I've been expecting you.
I should have known. You are on his side,
That's
Kessler.
what he wants you to think, but if you shut up and let me do the talking...
Certainly. Might as well face it. I bungled again, played right into his hands.
Maybe, but now we have him on our home ground.
Please, Kessler, no violence.
That's not what I had in mind. At least for now. But as long as we're both here together, he can't play one off against the other like he's been doing.
No, that's not necessary. I've proved my point.
I wouldn't say so. You rattled Watkins. He lost his head.
And came running to you. Why?
To check on what you told him. He thought I might have lied about him.
You mean you wanted to see if you told the truth about him? It's no use, Kessler. I know he's in hock to you. Now that I know who the murderer is, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Oh, you know that, too?
Yeah, sure.
Waring, I know how it looks.
Out of the talking, Watkins. Are you, suggesting that Watkins killed Elba, Waring?
Oh, I haven't said that.
But I thought...
You shouldn't jump to conclusions, Watkins.
Well, but then I don't understand. Unless you think I'm the murderer, what difference does it make if I owe Kessler money? My relation with him doesn't affect anyone else.
It affects Kessler.
But surely you can't think he killed Rex. Why, they didn't even know each other.
I know they didn't.
Well, then...
Now, wait. Elba demanded an accounting with you today, didn't he, Watkins? Never mind, don't answer, but you know he did. And you've been juggling the account to pay off Kessler, so you got panicked.
Well...
Shut up, Watkins.
Yes.
All right, you told Kessler about the spot you were in. You'd paid off part of what you owed him, but there was still a heavy balance. Now, if Elba sent you to jail, Kessler would never get his balance. So he killed Elba to protect his investment in you.
So that's it.
How many times do I have to tell you to shut up, Watkins?
Oh, I'm the one you'll have to shut up, Kessler. But before you decide on the rough play you so thoughtfully postponed before, you ought to know the police know I came up here.
Yeah?
You think I'd have stuck my neck out like this otherwise? Let's face it, Kessler, the jig is up.
One thing I don't understand, Waring.
What's that, Halloran?
You said my argument with Rita about the song is what tipped you to the murderer.
Yes, it did.
But if Kessler's the murderer, he had nothing to do with the song.
That's just the point.
What?
He didn't know Elba. Had nothing to do with him.
Then how
Now,
could he...
look, Halloran. Regardless of who really wrote the song, either way, we know that until last night, only you and Rita and Elba had ever heard the song, right?
Yes?
But when I was at Kessler's before Rita played it at the club, Kessler was humming the song.
He was?
He was. So I knew he must have been at Elba's. Remember Elba was at the piano when he was murdered? He must have been playing the tune when Kessler killed him.
I see.
Uh-huh. So that takes care of the murder. Now everything is settled except who really wrote the song.
Oh, that's settled, too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, yes, I was wrong. Rita wrote it all right. We had a long talk, and she convinced me.
Oh?
Yeah, quite a dame, Waring. Quite a dame.
Thought you didn't like dames.
Who, me? Oh, all I said was anybody who falls for a dame must be nuts.
Uh-huh.
Well, Waring, shake hands with Napoleon Bonaparte.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Lois. I'm glad you called. You'll have to include me out tonight, Angel. I've sort of got a date with a blonde. What do I mean, sort of? Well, I'm not sure of her. You see, this gal likes to leave her man hanging.
The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the double exposure. It is early Sunday evening in New York, and a black chauffeur-driven sedan tears along one of the more deserted roads of the Bronx. In the back seat, a gentleman relaxes. His name is James Arcaro. Mr. Arcaro is a man who knows his way around, but at the moment he has begun to have his doubts.
Say, Ralph, wasn't that Marshalltown Parkway?
I guess it was, Mr. Arcaro.
Well, what are we doing here? I told you I wanted to go to Eileen Chambers' place.
I must have misunderstood you.
Wait a minute. You're not Ralph?
No.
Where is he?
Let's just say he was indisposed, so he sent me in his place.
Stop the car.
Anything you say, Mr. Arcaro.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm going to open the door for you.
What for? I'm not getting out.
I got $500 and a gun that says you're wrong.
What's the idea?
You know. You're just trying to make conversation. All right, Arcaro, out of the car.
Okay. Tell me something, pal.
Sure, but stay where you are and keep your hands at your side.
Can I smoke?
Yeah, but never mind reaching in your coat pocket. You can have one of mine. Here.
You spare a light?
Why not? Happy now?
Yeah. I just wanted to get a look at you.
I don't think it's going to do you much good, Mr. Arcaro.
You never can tell. Your name's Ford, ain't it?
Well, I'm flattered. I didn't think a big shot like you would know a peasant like me.
Who you working for?
None of your business.
You're one of Marvin Draper's boys, aren't you?
Who?
Marvin Draper. Ah, come on, Ford, admit it. What do you got to lose?
You all through with that cigarette?
Were you the boy who took care of my partner, too?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eddie Hutton. They tell me 6 months ago he took a dive in the Hudson River, forgot to come up.
Now, how could that happen?
Maybe because he was wearing a cement bathing suit.
I wouldn't know, Mr. Arcaro. That's out of my line. Now, let's get this over with.
Okay, Ford. But I'd like to ask you one other favor.
What?
Well, maybe you hear I'm kind of proud of this face. I wouldn't like you to mess it up. How about giving it to me in the back of the head, huh?
Oh, that's a reasonable request. I don't see why I can't accommodate you. Turn around. You ready?
Wait a minute, Ford. Can you work a little closer?
Why not? How's this?
Why, I can't see.
I'm practically on top of you now.
That's all I wanted to know.
Let go. I said let go. Go be nice to people. Who's there?
Open up, Ford. It's the police.
Oh, sure. Just a second. Well, if it ain't Sergeant Corbett.
Darned if it ain't.
It's on your mind, Sergeant.
Where were you at 9 o'clock tonight?
Right here.
Oh, that's interesting. Why do you suppose Jimmy Arcaro told us you were with him?
What?
You're pretty careless, fella. Next time you leave a man for dead, you better take a saliva test.
What are you talking about?
He was found by a prowl car 20 minutes after you left.
You're lying. I pumped...
Go on, Ford. What were you going to say? You pumped 2 slugs in him? Sure. But he didn't die instantly. He was obliging enough to stick around for that prowl car and give him your name before he kicked off.
Oh, you trying to kid?
Don't believe me, huh? And how would I know that Arcaro put up a battle before you killed him?
You're crazy.
And you're careless. You should wear overalls when you're working. What's that spot doing on your pants?
Huh? Where?
Right near the cuff. Don't tell me it's lipstick. Come on, get wise to yourself, Ford. You're through. Your only chance is to play ball with us.
No.
I'm telling you, yes. Did Marv Draper put you up to this? Come on, Ford. Don't be a patsy. Why should Draper get away while you burn?
Draper had nothing to do with it.
Then who hired you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
So help me, Sergeant. It's the truth. When I got home last night, there was an envelope under my door with 5 bills in it and a note.
What kind of a note?
Said if I knocked off Arcaro, it'd be another 500 tonight.
Was there?
No.
Where's the original note?
I tore it up.
You're lying.
Why should I?
Listen, you punk. I want the truth. Who hired you to kill Jimmy Arcaro?
I tell you, I don't know.
Well, until I find out, I'm going to make it so hot for you that when you sit in that seat at Sing Sing, you'll think you're squatting on an icebox. Now, let's go.
Yes?
I'm looking for Mike Waring.
Who?
Well, you know, the one they call the Falcon.
Well, what's your name, Angel?
Eileen Chambers. Are you Waring?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Come in. Take off your coat.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
I was just thinking out loud. You wouldn't care for a drink?
No.
You sure?
Positive?
You sound like a girl who knows her own mind.
I do.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Well, what can I do for you, Eileen?
Eileen?
An efficiency expert once told me that by calling women by their first name, during a year I might save as much as...
3 seconds?
Well, there's no telling. He thought it might be as much as 5. What's in your mind, Eileen?
Take a look at this.
Certified copy of last will and testament of James Arcaro. Where'd you get this?
From Mr. Arcaro's attorney.
You benefit under the will?
Read the last paragraph.
Everything else I own, I leave to my good friend and partner, Eddie Hutton. However, in the event of Eddie Hutton's death before mine, then I desire my estate to go to my protege, Eileen Chambers. Not bad.
You like it?
I'm crazy about it. How much did Arcaro leave?
What's your guess?
Around $1 million.
It's closer to 2.
Well, that's really worth shooting for, isn't it?
Just what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, when Joey Ford bumped Arcaro, he really did you a favor.
I don't like that kind of talk, Mr. Waring. Mr. Arcaro was a very dear friend of mine.
Mm-hmm. Were you related?
No, we had no family. He was interested in my voice.
Oh, I see.
He thought I had the making of a great singer.
Well, just goes to prove you can't judge by appearances. Now, I never would have taken Jimmy for a patron of the arts, but, oh, well, that's beside the point. How do I come into this?
Well, when I spoke to Arcaro's lawyer this morning, he showed a very strange reluctance to pay off.
And you can't blame him, Eileen.
Who can't? I think he's got something up his sleeve, and I want to find out what it is.
Seems pretty obvious. Ford hasn't told the cops who he was working for.
It was Marvin Draper.
Mm-hmm. On the other hand, suppose it was you.
What?
Well, let's face it, Angel. Arcaro's lawyer must have thought of that possibility, and so will the police. Under Arcaro's will, you come into quite a bundle.
Well, that was just an accident. Eddie Hutton would have gotten it all if he hadn't died before Jimmy.
Mm-hmm, but he did, Eileen. And we mustn't forget it. According to the grapevine, Eddie Hutton died in October, about 2 months after this will was drawn. So you see where that places you.
But that's just a temporary delay, isn't it? Once Ford confesses who hired him to kill Arcaro, I should have no trouble.
None at all, Eileen. Unless, of course, he names you.
Say, mister. Mister?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did you happen to have a match with you?
I think so. Here.
Thanks.
It's all right. Keep the whole pack.
If you want to keep your health, you'll behave yourself.
What is this?
Just walk around the corner. I got a car waiting.
Why bother? I can get a cab.
Don't be cute. You've read enough books to know why I'm keeping this hand in my pocket.
Oh, yes. Forgive the oversight.
I'll start walking.
Look, friend, I don't want to be difficult, but you got the wrong boy.
You're Mike Waring, the Falcon, aren't you?
Yeah?
Well, then don't worry about any mistakes. My brother wants to talk to you.
Your brother?
Yeah. He's waiting for you in the car. Here he is, Eddie.
Nice going, Alex. Get in, Waring.
Sure, be glad to.
All right, Alex, let's go.
Right.
Any place in particular you want Alex to drop you, Waring?
Police headquarters will be fine.
Well, I'm afraid that's a little out of our way.
All right, now, look, what's this all about?
Don't tell me you don't recognize me.
No, I can't say I do.
Such is fame. To think only 6 months ago, my picture was all over the front pages.
Hey, wait a second.
Yes?
You're Jimmy Arcaro's partner, Eddie Hutton.
You hear that, Alex?
Yeah. Give the man a cigar.
But I thought...
I was at the bottom of the Hudson River.
You can't believe anything you read these days, can you? I heard Marvin Draper took care of you.
Well, he was thinking of it, so I thought I'd better disappear.
What made you come back?
I got a wire from Alex this morning telling me that Arcaro was dead, and you were working for Eileen Chambers.
My, how news travels.
If you got a fee out of her, you ought to return it.
Why?
Because you can't earn it. Under the terms of Jimmy's will, all his money goes to me. Miss Chambers won't get a dime now. So, she'd better start saving her money.
And now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. An hour has passed since Mike had his little interview with Eddie and Alex Hutton. And now, as we find him, he is relaying the information to his client.
4, 1, 7, 7.
Yes?
Hello, is that you, Eileen?
Who is this?
Mike Waring.
Well, this is a surprise. I didn't think I'd hear from you for quite a while.
Well, I told you I was a fast worker. I've got bad news for you, Angel.
Bad news?
As you know that $2 million you were counting on? Well, don't.
I don't understand you.
Eddie Hutton is alive.
Oh, so you're a comic, too.
I'm not kidding. I saw him not more than an hour ago.
All right, I give up. What's the gag?
No gag.
Don't talk like a fool, Mike. Eddie Hutton's at the bottom of the Hudson River.
Oh, not by a long shot. I'm sorry, Eileen. Still, it was awfully nice knowing you. Maybe we can get together on something else.
Listen, Waring, you won't get away with this double cross.
No, you're wrong, Angel.
I don't believe in threats.
Well, before you make one, hold the phone, huh? There's someone at my door. Speak of the devil.
I want to talk to you, Waring.
There's no point in playing a repeat engagement, Hutton. I've already convinced you're alive. I was just telling Eileen.
Is she here?
No, I'm talking to her on the phone.
Well, tell her. Tell her.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Hutton. Hutton. Hello, Eileen, you still there?
Yes, I'm not through with you.
Oh, I'll say you're not. Forget what I told you about Eddie Hutton.
But you said he wasn't dead.
That was 20 seconds ago. Now he's gone and done it.
Yeah?
Marvin Draper.
That's right. Who are you?
Mike Waring.
Well, come in.
Thank you.
Well, this is a pleasure, Mr. Waring. I've heard a great deal about you.
I've heard a lot about you, Draper.
Well, believe me, sir, I've done nothing to deserve it.
Mm-hmm. You're just a little boy from down south, came up to see the big city, huh?
You're mocking me, Mr. Waring.
You don't like that?
No. So, if that's all you came here for...
Not quite. I thought we could talk a little business. I'm a private detective.
Well, then you're wasting your time. I don't need one.
You never know.
Now, don't tell me that fellow who killed Arcaro confessed he was hired by me.
No. But remember a man named Eddie Hutton?
Vaguely.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the police want to talk to you about his murder.
Well, they're a little late, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they couldn't help themselves. His body just turned up an hour ago.
Where?
At my place.
That's very amusing.
I don't think so.
You mean you can't see the comic possibilities in a man returning from the bottom of the Hudson?
He wasn't at the bottom. He was in hiding.
Oh, well, then the police did me a great injustice when they queried me about his disappearance. You think I ought to sue them for the embarrassment they caused me?
No, I'd wait, Draper, because they're bound to cause you a lot more. They couldn't prosecute you then because they had no corpus delicti. What do you think they'll say when I tell them there's one in my apartment?
Well, I'm not a gambling man, sir. But I wouldn't mind risking a few bob wagering. I know what they'll tell you.
Yeah, what?
That you're crazy, Mr. Waring. Now, you just see if they don't.
You must be out of your mind to think I'd swallow a yarn like that.
I tell you, Sergeant, Eddie Hutton's body is in my apartment.
How about Judge Crater? He there, too?
All right. Be smart. But when your boys get back...
What boys?
Well, didn't you send a detail to my place after I called you?
Are you kidding?
Listen, Corbett, I'm not clowning.
No, I don't think you are. What's your angle, Mike?
Angle?
Must have one. You working for Draper?
Would I come here if I were? I represent a girl named Eileen Chambers.
Who's she?
Jimmy O'Carroll left her some dough in his will.
Is that so?
Oh, now, look, Corbett, she didn't kill him.
You said she collected under his will.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Has Ford talked yet?
No. I'm beginning to think that story of his about the $500 in the envelope is true.
But you do believe Draper was behind that?
Yeah.
Okay, then this is your one chance to nail him.
How?
Through the murder of Eddie Hutton.
You're going to start that again?
Listen, Sergeant. Suppose Hutton was seen around town today.
So?
So this was a perfect spot for Draper to act. Somehow he poisoned him.
Poisoned?
Well, that's the only thing I could figure out. There wasn't a mark on the body.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. A man sits down with a guy he knows wants to kill him and lets himself be poisoned, just like that.
All right. Maybe he wasn't poisoned. I'm no doctor. Draper could have killed him 100 different ways. Look, why don't we go over to my place and you can see for yourself?
Okay, Mike, I'll go along with the gag. All I ask is one thing. I got no sense of humor, so be sure and tell me when to laugh. What's the matter, Mike? Having trouble?
No, I got it now. Wait till I turn on the lights, huh?
Where's Hutton?
You blind? He's right there, but... Hey, he's gone.
Is this where I start to giggle?
I give you my word, Sergeant. He was right on the floor there.
Very funny. I haven't laughed so hard.
Oh, don't be a sap. You think I'd bring you up here on a wild goose chase?
No, that's what bothers me.
What do you mean?
You're not the kind of a boy who goes in for practical jokes. You must have had a reason for this, and when I find out what it is...
Wait a minute.
What for?
Did you bring that copy of Eddie Hutton's fingerprints with you?
Yeah.
But when Hutton keeled over, his hand hit the top of my desk.
So what?
So he wasn't wearing gloves at the time. Where's your fingerprint kit?
Get me a glass of water.
You need water to run the test?
No, I'm thirsty.
Oh, you... Well, hurry it up, will you? How you doing?
Be through in a second.
But if you don't find a copy of Hutton's prints on that desk, I'll eat it.
Okay, Mike, start eating. This desk is absolutely clean. Hearty appetite, pal.
A short while ago, Mike was dumbfounded when, after promising Sergeant Corbett the body of Eddie Hutton, he discovered he couldn't deliver, for the body was gone without a trace. And understandably enough, the good sergeant sees very little humor in the situation.
Now, let me tell you something, Mike. You're not going to get away with this. If you think you can pull a stunt like this and make me the stooge...
Oh, you're out of your mind, Sergeant.
Oh, that's good. That's good, coming from you.
I tell you, Eddie Hutton's body was here. Draper must have removed it. You had sent a squad when I called you.
Don't give me that.
Oh, you're talking like a child. Why would I dream up a story like that about Hutton? I told you how his brother Alex hijacked me this afternoon.
Well, for your information, Alex Hutton is in Florida.
He's what?
Yeah, he was picked up there a couple of days ago for making book. Before they let him go, they wired us if we wanted him for anything. So, if you've got anything else to say...
Shut up.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I'm sorry, Corbett. I didn't mean it that way. You see what I see?
Where?
On the carpet, under the sofa.
That pocket comb?
Yes, that's not mine. Someone must have kicked it there. Where's your fingerprint outfit?
Listen, Mike.
Well, what have you got to lose?
All right. Now, don't touch it.
You got enough powder?
Yeah.
Well?
Can't you be quiet for a minute? Well, what do you know? There's a right thumb and forefinger on here. Look at this copy. They both belong to Eddie Hutton.
Well, what did I tell you?
I take it all back. Where's your telephone?
Come in.
Hello, Waring.
Oh, so he was in Florida, huh?
Say, what goes on here?
You're just the boy I want to see, Alex. Sergeant, meet Alex Hutton.
Is he the one?
Yeah, he's the one. I want to talk to you, Alex.
Well, that makes us even, because I want to talk to you. Where's my brother?
Eddie?
Who did you think I meant?
He's not here.
I can see that for myself, but where is he? He left my place 2 hours ago and said he was coming here.
Well?
Well, he hasn't been back since.
That's easy to understand, Alex. He's dead.
I don't like those kind of jokes, Waring.
It's the truth, Alex.
I'm asking you for the last time. Where's my brother?
I told you he's dead.
You just won't be serious, will you?
Mike?
All right, you better put away the rod, Alex. This man's a sergeant with the New York police.
Yeah, and I got a badge, too.
I asked you a question, Waring.
And I answered it to the best of my ability. Eddie's dead, and you better reconcile yourself to it.
Who killed him?
I don't know. Maybe Marvin Draper.
Yeah, or maybe it was your client, Eileen Chambers.
Why should she?
I suppose you forgot all about Jimmy Arcaro's will. Now, with Eddie out of the way, she's going to be sitting pretty.
Well, you got a point there.
Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, friend. Eileen isn't going to live to spend a dime of that money.
You better watch your step, Alex. They can burn you for this.
Shall I tell you something, Waring? If I can get Eileen, it'll be worth it. I'll be seeing your friends.
Well, if it isn't Alex Hutton.
You surprised, Eileen?
Not particularly. Come in. Now, let me have your coat.
No, thanks, baby. I don't think I'll be staying very long.
That's where you're wrong, Alex.
What's the idea of the gun?
I'm just beating you to the draw.
Are you crazy?
Well, wasn't that what you came here for?
Of course not.
Well, then why do you suppose Mike Waring made up the story?
Mike Waring?
That's right.
You talked to him?
Uh-huh.
How?
For a smart boy, Alex, you made an awful boner. Didn't you ever hear of the telephone? Great invention.
He didn't call him.
Oh, yes, he did. He should be here any minute. Oh, there, that's probably him now. Come in.
Hi, Eileen.
Hello, Mike. Who's your friend?
Oh, that's right. You haven't met, have you? Eileen, this is Sergeant Corbett.
Glad to know you, Miss Chambers.
Thanks.
Isn't she a great gal, Sergeant? Look how she's in command of the situation. Just like the Marines in Korea.
Aren't you proud of me?
Oh, Angel, what a question.
You're all in this together.
You better be careful with those accusations, Alex. Let me have the cannon, Eileen.
What for?
Well, that's an awfully big gun for a little girl like you to carry.
Oh, I don't mind.
Don't think I'm swallowing this routine, because I'm not. You're all partners.
Where's our motive?
$2 million that Jimmy Arcaro left my brother. Sure. You hired Ford to kill Jimmy, and then one of you poisoned Eddie.
You're wrong, Alex.
Yeah, well, then where is he?
Where he's been for the past 6 months, at the bottom of the Hudson.
What are you babbling about?
That guy who died over at my place was a plant you dug up for the occasion.
Are you nuts, Mike? Next you'll be saying he hired Ford to kill Jimmy Arcaro, too.
Why, Sergeant, how did you guess? You took the words right out of my mouth. Now, admit it, Eileen. Isn't this cozy?
I still don't see why we couldn't have brought your friend along.
My friend?
Mm-hmm. Sergeant Corbett. I think he's cute.
Oh, really, Eileen? You disappoint me. Why, if I told you some of the things I know about Corbett...
I'd much rather you told me about Alex Hutton.
Oh, believe me, he's a much nicer guy. Even though he did hire Ford to kill Jimmy Arcaro.
Why?
Well, so that Arcaro's will would go into effect. You see, under its terms, if Eddie Hutton was alive at the time, he'd come into everything. That's why Alex showed up with his brother's double.
Well, why did he kill him later?
Well, the man had performed his purpose. All Alex wanted to establish was that his brother lived longer than Arcaro. In that way, your interest would be wiped out, and everything would then go to Eddie Hutton.
Well, how did that affect Alex?
Well, if Eddie Hutton survived Arcaro, the money would go to Eddie's next of kin.
Not to me?
Nope. So, naturally, Alex tried to convince us that his brother had lived longer than Arcaro. Once he had me convinced, he removed the body.
Why?
Well, he couldn't afford to let it be found again, because then it would be easy to prove the man was a phony. But with my story that I had talked to Eddie Hutton today, plus the fingerprints on the pocket comb he planted in my apartment, Alex had all he needed to substantiate his case.
Well, what was his mistake?
Oh, well, he made several. For one thing, he knew that the man who died in my place was a victim of poisoning. Well, how could he know that when he'd never seen the body? Then his hokey threat about killing you was a boner, too.
Don't you think he meant it?
No, of course not. He did that for effect. He wanted to show us he was all broken up over his brother's death and that he felt you were responsible. You don't really believe he forgot we could telephone ahead and warn you. He wanted us to stop him. Now, Alex wasn't taking any chances of getting in trouble with $2 million in sight.
Which now belongs to me?
Which now belongs to you. Now, does that take care of all your questions?
All but one.
Just ask it, Angel.
What time is it?
10 o'clock. Why?
I don't want to be late for my appointment with Sergeant Corbett.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Uh-huh. He's waiting for me at the Belvedere.
Well, what's he got that I haven't got?
Me? And $2 million. Good night, Mike.
Use Gem Blades. Use Gem Blades. Use Gem Blades. Gem Razors and Gem Blades present The Adventures of the Falcon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon. Oh, Nancy, I'm glad you called. What's on the program for tonight? Well, it sounds like an awfully dead evening, baby. But you can never tell. Tomorrow they may be mourning.
Once again, Gem Blades, the razor blades that help you avoid 5 o'clock shadow, bring you the adventures of the Falcon. The Falcon, as you know, is Michael Waring, freelance detective, who's always ready with a hand for oppressed men and an eye for repressed women. So join him tonight when the Falcon learns murder is a family affair. It's a rainy Tuesday evening in New York, and the city streets are deserted, save for a dark red convertible which is parked at the curb. And at the wheel sits Brenda Sinclair, fondling her pet Pekingese, Wang Pu.
No, baby, don't be impatient. Daddy's going to meet us shortly. Then you and Mama are going to go far, far away where nasty mans can't find us.
Hello, Brenda.
Oh, Kenny, darling.
Have you been waiting long?
It seemed like years.
That's just the way I felt in that hallway.
Ray.
Oh, hello, Sinclair. Fancy meeting you here.
I thought I warned you to stay away from my wife.
Brenda doesn't care about you. She hasn't for years.
Ray, I'm leaving you.
Really?
Kenny and I are going away on a little trip.
Maybe Kenny is, Brenda, but not you.
Ray, put away that gun.
What's the idea, Sinclair?
I warned you to stay away from my wife, Kenny, but you wouldn't listen.
Ray.
Maybe this is the only language you can understand.
Ray, don't!
Oh.
Sinclair, it is the judgment of this court that you be confined to State's Penitentiary, and on the night of November 27th, you shall be electrocuted there, as provided for by state law. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Sinclair?
Yes, sir.
Some visitors for you.
Hello, Mike. Nancy?
Hello, Ray.
Ray.
Have you heard anything yet?
You better tell him, Mike.
Ray, we just got back from seeing the governor.
Bad news, huh?
I'm sorry, fella.
I wasn't very hopeful. No matter how you put it, I still killed a man in cold blood. Well, we Sinclairs never did have much luck with our women anyway.
At least you'll be glad to know your brother Danny broke the jinx.
Ah, good for him. Too bad I never got a chance to meet his wife. What do you think of her, Nancy?
Gloria is all right.
I'm glad to hear that. Danny deserves the best. He's a good kid.
1 in a million. He and Gloria are waiting at my apartment.
Mike, I wonder if you'd do me a great favor.
You don't have to ask, Ray.
I'm a little worried about Danny. I'm afraid he may go off the deep end after this. You know, he always felt that Brenda was responsible for this mess.
I understand.
He's just a kid, Mike. He's got screwy ideas. Will you keep an eye on him?
It's a promise.
Mike, what time is it?
Almost 9.
They say the last 60 minutes are the toughest. Got a cigarette?
Oh, sure. Have one, Nancy?
Yes, please.
No, not 3 on a match. Mike, you're going to stick around for the... I'd like you to. Very much.
Oh, back already?
Yes, it's all over, Gloria.
I know. We heard the flash on the radio.
Where's Danny?
In the living room.
How's he taking it?
Not so good, Mike. If he'd only yell or cry, I could understand it. But he just sits there and looks at the wall. He won't even talk to me.
Hello, Danny.
Hello.
How's the boy?
Great.
Danny, I can't tell you.
Mike, maybe Danny would like some coffee.
Oh, that's a swell idea, darling. Why don't you make some?
No, don't bother, Nancy.
Danny, for heaven's sake, stop it.
I'm sorry, Gloria.
Danny, you've got to stop tormenting yourself. We know what you're going through.
No, I don't think you do, Nancy. Mike, did you make all the funeral arrangements?
No. You see, kid, it was kind of taken out of my hands.
Oh, what do you mean?
Your sister-in-law, Brenda, claimed the body.
Oh, good old Brenda. She doesn't miss a trick, does she? I hope there were plenty of sob sisters around to catch her act.
Yes, she ought to get a headline out of it.
And without any effort.
All right, Danny, spill it. What have you got on your mind?
Murder.
Danny.
That's right, Gloria. I got an appointment with Brenda tonight. And I'm afraid she doesn't know about it yet.
Danny, you're not being funny.
I didn't intend it to be.
Why don't you get wise to yourself?
What?
It's time you grew up. Try to be a man for a change and not a sniveling brat.
Oh, I'm glad to find out what you think of me, Gloria.
Oh, Danny, don't you see she's only telling you that for your own good?
Oh, don't argue with him, Nancy. It isn't worth the effort. He'll go along all his life feeling sorry for himself, wondering why everybody picks on him. Why, I've seen kids of 10 with more stuff than he's got.
Anything else you'd care to add?
No, I've said my piece, Danny. Anytime you want to go, it's perfectly all right with me.
Thanks for your permission, dear.
Mike, don't let him.
Danny, where'd you get that gun?
It's yours. I got it out of your desk drawer.
Let me have it.
I'm sorry, friend. No can do.
Danny, I want you to give me that gun.
Now, Mike, you've been swelling me, so please don't make me do something I'll be sorry for. Now, stay where you are.
Are you going to give me that gun?
I'll come closer next time, Mike.
Danny, listen to me.
I have, Gloria, and I've taken it very much to heart. So I'm just a kid making big talk, am I? Well, watch me change to a man of action.
Well, now we have to worry about Danny and hope he'll realize that Brenda's not worth shooting. Well, there isn't anything I can do about that. But here's something I can do to help a lot of you who have 5 o'clock shadow. I can tell you that 9 out of 10 men will stay face neat right around the clock by shaving the gem way. That is, with a gem razor and a genuine gem blade. I know it takes a definite effort on your part to change your shaving method, but I promise you that if you shave the gem way, your effort will be repaid every day of your life. Gem razors are again available at your dealers. Get one if you haven't one already, and begin immediately to enjoy Gem's famous features, such as the clever face-fitting bevel, which compels you to use the master barber's long, gliding stroke. And, too, you'll like the way the super keen Gem blade gets the beard at skin level, so close, clean, and comfortable. So try the Gem way, won't you? Avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a Gem razor and Gem blades. Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. It's a few minutes later, and in Mike's apartment, the Falcon and Gloria listen anxiously while Nancy makes a call.
Well, Nancy?
Oh, the operator couldn't give me the number, Mike. Now, how are you going to warn Brenda?
I really don't see why you people are so concerned. Danny won't do anything.
You're wrong, Gloria.
Look, Mike, I'm married to him. I know how he reacts. Why, Danny could no more kill her than I could. Basically, he's just a sweet kid.
Just a sweet kid bent on murder.
Well, then, you think he meant what he said?
Every word.
Well, then why don't you do something?
I'm trying to, Gloria. Now, let me think.
You do that, Mike, but I'm not going to sit around and wait any longer. I'm going after Danny.
Gloria, come back here.
Let her go, darling. It'll give her something to occupy her mind.
But shouldn't we phone the police or something?
I'd rather not. If it ever gets out that Danny's gunning for his sister-in-law, it'll make a Roman holiday for the newsboys.
Well, what do you think Danny will be doing meanwhile? In case you've forgotten, darling, that boy is wired for sound.
And suppose we attempt a little short-circuiting. Maybe we can still beat him to her apartment. Get your coat, baby. It's worth a try.
Nice dog. You did, Miss Brenda, didn't you, baby? Come on, let's see who it is, darling.
Oh, it's you, De Silva. What do you want?
How can I talk to you when all the time you got that lousy dog in your lap?
Don't speak that way about Wang Pu.
Excuse me, please. Brenda, in the last month, you borrowed close to 12 grand from me.
You'll get your money back.
Sure. But when, Brenda?
Any day, as soon as they settle Ray's estate.
I got news for you, darling.
What are you talking about?
Papa didn't leave you a cent.
How do you know?
It's my business to know.
He's a dirty double-crosser, and after I gave him the best years of my life.
You know, for a smart dame, Brenda, you don't use your head so good. 12 grand don't mean so much to De Silva. How you like me to call him off, huh?
What's the catch, De Silva? You never gave away anything in your life.
No catch? Just marry me.
Are you kidding?
You could do worse.
Why, you fat slob, I wouldn't have you for all the gold in your teeth.
For a dame who's in hockey, you're awful fussy.
Don't make me laugh. Now go on, get out.
You want to watch your mouth, girlie. Nobody ever talks to De Silva like that.
Are you threatening me, you big ape? Come on in.
Hello, Brenda.
Oh, why, Sugar Plum, this is a surprise. It was awfully sweet of you to call.
Isn't it sweet of me, too?
Oh, Nancy, I didn't see you.
Are we interrupting something?
No, nothing important. Mr. De Silva was just leaving, weren't you, Fatso?
Have your little joke. Maybe when you think him over, they won't be so funny.
Oh, there, darling. Did nasty man frighten Mama's baby? Isn't she sweet, Michael? She's pedigreed, you know.
Takes after her mother, doesn't she?
Yes.
What did you mean by that crack?
Exactly what
Now,
you
girls,
think
now,
I mean.
girls.
Well, Nancy never liked me, Michael. You were the only one who ever understood me.
Yes.
Why, Sugar Plum.
Oh, come now, Brenda. This is Sugar Plum, remember? He knew you when.
Very funny. Well, what do you want? I don't suppose you came around to offer your condolences.
No, but I came around to offer some advice. Your brother-in-law, Danny's gunning for you.
Look, Mike, if that's all you've got to say, you can beat it. Little Brenda can look after herself.
All right, darling, let's go.
Okay.
Oh, Sugar Plum,
Huh?
did Ray leave all his money to Danny?
Why?
Nothing. It just dawned on me that my brother-in-law isn't such a kid at that. He's got possibilities. The right woman could do a lot for him.
Maybe the right woman could. But if I were you, I'd forget it, Brenda.
But then you're not me, dear. Because what I've forgotten, you'll never learn. Good night, you lovely people. There, sweetheart. Come to Mama. That's the sweet thing. Mama's little baby was so hungry, and I'm going to... All right, I'm coming. Danny, darling, I'm so glad you dropped in.
Nothing could keep me away.
Here, let me take your coat.
Never mind.
Now, Danny, don't be mean to Brenda. Now that poor Ray is gone, that just the two of us left. We've got to look out for one another.
Danny, put away that gun.
As soon as I finish.
You're frightening Wang Pu.
What about you?
Danny, you've got to believe me. It wasn't my fault.
You're quite fool.
You're crazy, Danny. You're crazy. You'll never get away with it. They'll fry you like they did Ray.
I don't think so.
Danny, please.
Mike, I'm worried.
But there's no reason to be, Nancy.
When I think of Danny roaming the streets with a gun,
Well, don't you worry about Brenda. That baby can take care of herself.
And don't you know it?
Yes, and don't I know... Well,
And just how well did you know her before she met Ray, darling?
Saved by the bell. Come in.
Mike, did you find Danny?
No, didn't you?
No, I looked everywhere. I even went up to Brenda's apartment.
Well?
There was no answer. Mike, I'm scared.
But there's nothing to be scared about. Oh, excuse me.
Hello, Falcon?
Yes?
This is Johnny Gleason down at headquarters.
Oh, hi, Sergeant. How's Trix?
Well, outside of a couple of twinges in my back, I can't complain. Say, Falcon, you were a friend of Ray Sinclair, weren't you?
That's right.
Then it might interest you to learn that murder runs in the family.
What are you babbling about?
Danny just knocked off his sister-in-law.
No. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake. He tried to kill himself afterwards, but he lost his nerve.
Listen, Gleason. Hold everything. I'm coming right down.
Take your time, Falcon. There's no hurry. The way it looks now, your friend's going to be with us for a long, long time.
Now, check me if I'm wrong, Danny. After you pulled the rod, your sister-in-law tried to move away from you.
That's right.
Whereupon you made a couple of more speeches, and then you let fly at her. What'd you do after that?
I turned the gun on myself.
Then you passed out?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think that takes care of everything. Now, if you'll just sign this... Oh, now what?
Hey, Gleason, tell him to let me in.
All right, George.
Hello, Danny.
Hello, Mike.
How do you feel?
Oh, all right, I guess.
I want you to tell me exactly what happened.
If you don't mind, Falcon, I was here first. Now, go ahead, kid. Sign it.
Now, what's that?
His confession.
Hold it, Danny. Gleason, have you seen Charlie De Silva?
You mean the loan shark?
Yes. He had a fight with Brenda tonight. She was in hock to him.
I heard all about it. We had him on the carpet an hour ago.
How come you let him go without informing me?
Look, Falcon, I was under the impression the new mayor's name was O'Dwyer.
Well, can't you give me a little time to get all the angles?
Why do you want to give the kid false hopes? We know who killed the dame. He admits it.
He's right, Mike.
Yeah, and this is the gun you used, ain't it?
Yes, sir. I took it from Mike's apartment.
Let's see that.
Anything to waste time.
Yes, that's mine. Only when he took it, it was fully loaded. Say, wait a minute, Danny. How many shots did you fire at Brenda?
One.
And one at yourself, is that right?
Yes.
And before you left my place, you took a pot shot at me.
Oh, he did he?
Now, that's not the point, Gleason. How many shots in all does that make?
Don't tell me. 3.
All right, Einstein. Look at this chamber. There are 4 exploded shells in there. How do you explain that?
It's easy. He shot the girl twice.
Did you find 2 slugs in her?
Well, no.
Then what happened to the other bullet?
It went wild?
No, it didn't. I only shot her once, and then I turned the gun on myself.
You're lying.
Use your head, Gleason. He's admitted killing her. What motive would he have to lie about that missing bullet?
It must be somewhere in her room.
Did any of your boys find it?
What was the point of looking?
And you can't have any objections if I do.
Falcon, will you stop trying to complicate matters?
Come on, Sergeant. Be a sport. Give me an hour to look over Brenda's apartment. If I can't find the shell by that time, I'll advise Danny to sign the confession.
There'll be no more horsing around?
I give you my word.
Okay, here's the key.
Mike, how much of that hour have we got left?
About 20 minutes.
Well, then we'll have to work a lot faster.
Well, there's one sure thing. That slug isn't anywhere on this floor.
No.
Suppose we try to reconstruct what happened.
How?
I'll play Danny and you play Brenda.
Oh, this ought to be fun. What do I do?
Well, according to Danny's story, he was standing over by the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you back away from me as if you were afraid.
You mean like this?
Oh, that's perfect. I pull out the gun.
Mike, put that thing away.
It's all right, dear. I just want to make this as realistic as possible.
Well, let's not overdo it. You don't have to point it at me.
Don't haggle, Nancy. Get on with your act. Pretend you're Brenda. Now, what would you say?
Now, you wouldn't shoot poor little me. Now, would you, Sugar Plum?
I certainly will if you continue with that sugar plum routine. Where'd you pick that up?
From Brenda.
Oh.
The question is, where did she pick it up?
Now, darling, stick to your script. Where were we? Oh, yes. You just finished pleading for your life.
And it's availed me nothing.
Right, so now I shoot. Bang!
Am I dead?
Very. Just crumpled gracefully to the floor. Ah, that's the way.
How do I look as a corpse?
Not so good.
Oh, and I thought I gave a wonderful performance.
No. No, something's missing.
Did I leave out a sugar plum?
Say, wait a minute. I think I've got it. Sure, you know what's wrong with this picture. You didn't have...
Mike.
I heard it. Maybe someone's coming in here. Just stay quiet. Hello, De Silva.
Huh?
I said hello. Now shut the door and come in. What are you doing here?
Since when I gotta answer your questions?
Might be smart if you did. See this?
Oh, put that right away, Falcon. You're not frightening anybody.
Except me.
Nancy, phone Sergeant Gleason. Tell him I'm taking De Silva over to my apartment. Ask him to bring Danny there.
But, Mike, isn't that highly irregular?
Highly. But then, dear, this is a most unconventional murder.
You know something, Falcon? I got a hunch you're gonna be very sorry about this.
And I got a hunch, De Silva, you may be right. Nancy, that must be Sergeant Gleason. Will you let him in?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Sergeant.
Hiya, Nancy.
Oh, and you brought a friend along. How nice.
Hiya, Nancy.
Fine. Guess who's here?
What? Gloria. Gloria. Honey.
Danny, darling. Now, don't ogle Gleason. It's not polite. Oh, Sergeant, I believe you know Mr. De Silva.
We've met.
Nancy, will you lock the door, please?
Certainly. What will I do with the key?
Put it where no one can get it.
I know just the place.
Hey, don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant. It slipped.
Very comical. I know a good one, too. Suppose I tossed you all in the clink.
Relax, Gleason. I'll tell you why Nancy did that.
It better be good.
It is. The killer of Brenda Sinclair is in this room.
You don't have to tell me. I brought him here.
Well, if you did, he's not getting out alive.
What are you talking about?
Why do you think I had Nancy lock that door?
You expect to sweat a confession out of someone?
More than that, Gleason. Give me half an hour, and that someone will be sweating blood. Only this time it'll be his own.
Well, all I can say is that the Falcon's going to find it slightly grim if he doesn't make good. You know, that's one thing that never worries me when I make statements about the Gem way of shaving. Gem always makes good. And now the Gem razors are once more available at all dealers. More men than ever before can shave the Gem way and so avoid 5 o'clock shadow. You know, of course, that to get the best out of your Gem razor, you must use Gem blades. They fit precisely, shave perfectly. Their super keen, deep wedge edge gets the beard at the base, clean and close. No topping the beard, no little islands of stubble left on your chin. You get incredibly close, smooth shaves which naturally last much longer. That's why we can say that a Gem shave will keep your face socially acceptable right around the clock. So try the Gem way of shaving. Avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a Gem razor and Gem blades. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. 25 minutes have passed since Mike Waring made his promise to reveal the killer of Brenda Sinclair. And now in the Falcon's apartment.
Well, how about it, folks? Anybody feel like confessing? How about you, De Silva? They say it's good for the soul.
You can go right
Easy now, fella.
Look, Falcon, a joke's a joke. But
what?
If you don't open that door...
I'm sorry, Gleason. You saw Nancy lose the key. No one's leaving until the murderer confesses.
But Danny killed her. Didn't you, kid?
Well, I'm not so sure now.
Say, what goes on here?
Well, I only fired 3 shots out of that gun.
So you did. But the chamber shows that 4 were fired. Maybe you'd like to know what happened to that missing bullet.
Did you find it in Brenda's apartment, Falcon?
No. That's what put me on the right track.
You didn't, so it did. Oh, why didn't I learn a trade?
Try to visualize this scene, Sergeant. Because this is what must have happened after Danny shot Brenda.
We know. She keeled over dead.
That's just it. She wasn't dead then. That bullet didn't touch her.
And the man's crazy.
No one ever saw Brenda unless she was carrying about that pet Pekingese of hers. Wang Pu. It was the only thing she was fond of.
So what?
Well, that's where your missing bullet went. It hit the dog.
What?
That's right. And Brenda fainted from sheer fright, as anyone might. But Danny didn't know that. He turned the gun on himself. Next, our murderer enters. He sees Brenda and Danny out cold, so he takes the gun out of Danny's hand and pumps a shot into Brenda. And he exits, but not before he removes the dying dog.
Why?
He had to. Otherwise, it would give the whole show away. Am I right, De Silva?
How would I know that?
That's right, you wouldn't. Come to think of it, you had no real motive to kill Brenda. You wanted either Brenda or the money you loaned her. Well, with her dead, you were out of luck on both counts. So if we want to find our killer, we'll have to look elsewhere for him.
Mike, you said him. Then our murderer is a man.
That was a figure of speech, dear. As it happens, our killer is a woman. Isn't she, Gloria?
What?
That's right. She killed Brenda.
What? The whole thing's crazy. I killed her.
No, you only thought you did, Danny. Isn't that right, Gloria?
What am I supposed to do? Break down and confess?
It might help if you want to get out of here.
I'm in no hurry. I can stay all night. I hope your guest room is comfortable.
I'm afraid you'll never live to use it. I see you've got a Band-Aid on your hand. Is that where Wang Pu nipped you when you picked him up?
Will this go on much longer?
Not much. I had some of the blood on Brenda's carpet analyzed. It was dog's blood. And the vet told me that the hound had rabies. And whoever handled it was bound to get hydrophobia. Do you ever have hydrophobia, Gloria?
You're not frightening me.
You must have gotten that bite around 10 o'clock. That means the incubation period is almost over. Maybe a half hour more. They tell me unless you get to a doctor fast, it starts off with a burning sensation. By the way, Gloria, how does that hand feel? Kind of itchy?
Stop. Stop it, Mike. You're not funny.
There's an awful temptation to scratch it, isn't there? Better watch out for that, darling. That spreads the infection all the faster.
Cut it out. For heaven's sake, cut it out.
Why, Gloria, where are you going? That door's locked, remember?
Let me out of here. Let me out. I've got to get to a doctor, please. Please, let me out.
Michael,
There
wasn't any blood on Brenda's carpet.
That's right.
And that pooch didn't have rabies.
Of course not. Was a nice touch, though, wasn't it?
Oh, lovely.
It just goes to prove what a terrible thing a guilty conscience can be.
Yes, but I still don't understand why Gloria killed Brenda.
Oh, she didn't intend to originally. She thought Danny was going to do it for her. But when he fumbled the ball, she had to do the job herself.
I don't follow you.
Well, Gloria knew the cops would grab Danny for the murder.
You mean she wanted to get rid of him?
That was her fondest desire. When Ray went to the chair, Danny became a rich kid. If anything happened to him...
His money would go to Gloria.
Natch. Could you ask for a better motive?
Then when she bawled Danny out before he left...
She was just trying to goad him on.
Mm-hmm. But, Mike...
Now, darling, I've told you everything.
Oh, no. There's one thing you forgot.
What?
Brenda called you sugar plums. How do you explain that?
Oh, Nancy, let's not go into that now. It's a long story.
Oh, but that's the kind I like best.
Come here, darling.
Now, Michael, stop it. You're not going to get out of it like that.
I didn't intend to, dear. You wanted to hear the story of Brenda and Sugar Plum.
Yes.
Well, what you got just then was the prologue.
Murder is a grave situation. Murder is a grave situation. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that even those with double trouble can only die once. So be sure and listen next week at this same time to another gay, exciting adventure of the Falcon. And in the meanwhile, avoid 5 o'clock shadow with a gem razor and gem blades. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake. James Meehan was starred as the Falcon. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Peggy. I'm glad you called. I'll have to ask for a rain check, Angel. I'm all tied up. Mm-hmm. An actor friend of mine just bought himself a gun, and the way it looks now, he figures to make a big hit.
The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the disappearing doll.
It's Wednesday evening in New York.
And in a small furnished room on Manhattan's East Side, a gentleman named Carl Hoffman glares at an old clock, as if commanding it to stop. And when it continues to ignore Mr. Hoffman's wishes, he hauls off and makes known his displeasure.
Hey, take it easy, Carl.
Don't tell me to take it easy, Sheppy.
You went and busted the clock.
That's not all I'm going to bust either. Where's Janet?
Give her a chance, Carl. She'll show.
When? She was due here an hour ago.
Well, maybe she got tied up with that jerk Harry Jensen.
That's still no excuse. I told her a dozen. Get that.
Yeah, I'll get it. Just a second.
Hello, Sheppy.
Oh, you're just in time, Janet.
What's the matter?
Carl, he's blowing his top.
Don't worry about it. It'll do him good.
That you, Janet?
Yeah,
Where the devil have you been?
working.
You were due here at 8.
There were what they call extenuating circumstances.
You out with Harry Jensen?
Uh-huh.
How'd you make out?
Well, he's loosening up a little.
But?
He still wouldn't kick through with the information.
Well, that's a nice how do you do.
Well, if you think you can do better...
Maybe I
All
can.
right, take it easy, Carl. You too, Janet.
Where does he get off, bawling me out? How long have I had to work on Harry?
Look, we know it's only been a week, but time is getting short. Vince Dario will be here tomorrow.
Who?
Vince Dario. Carl's bringing him in from Toledo for this.
Why?
Because he's the best man in the business, that's why. And
Yeah.
Vince isn't the kind of a guy who'll hang around if we can't promise him action.
Well, I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah, sure she is, Carl. Now, why don't you two just kiss and make up?
All right, I'm sorry, Janet.
Forget it, honey.
Come here, baby.
Don't mind me, folks.
Grab yourself a walk, Shep.
Come on, fellas, break it up, huh? We got work to do.
He's right, sweetheart. When do you think you'll have something to report from that Harry Jensen character?
Well, they wanted to see me later tonight.
Well, maybe tonight's the night.
Maybe.
How about it, Janet? You know, I think if you got him good and plastered, he might start talking.
That's never been a problem with Harry. The tough thing is to make him quit.
Well, get him started in the right direction, baby. And when he stops, we'll be on Easy Street.
Hey, no more for me, Janet. I had enough.
Oh, don't be such a sissy,
Who's
Harry.
a sissy?
You are.
Yeah? Now, let me show you something. Give me that bottle.
Now, Harry, do you think you should?
Watch.
Well, well, well.
How's that?
Oh, darling, you're terrific.
Hey, you want to know something, Janet?
What?
Hey, you're pretty terrific, too. I'm crazy about you, baby.
Crazy enough to marry me?
Say the word and we'll do it like that.
Don't tempt me, Harry.
I mean it.
So do I. What did we live on?
What will we live on? What's the matter with me? I make good dough. $80 a week. Is that anything to sneeze at?
Oh, no, that's wonderful, darling.
Yeah, I'm top man with the outfit. Who do you think makes all the important deliveries?
Who?
Me, that's it.
Go on.
Don't believe me, huh? Ever hear of the McGill Company?
Yeah?
Well, they got a payroll of $80,000 a week, and I'm the guy who brings it to them.
When?
Huh?
When do you bring it to them?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. We're not supposed to tell.
And you claim you love me.
I do,
Then
sweetheart.
tell me when you're going to deliver the McGill payroll.
Now, what difference does that make?
Think I could marry a man who didn't trust me?
Say, Janet.
What?
Well, ain't it kind of stuffy in here?
No.
I feel awful warm. You know, I bet I could go to sleep.
Don't you pass out on me.
Oh, don't, Janet. I'm not about...
Harry. Harry. The McGill payroll. When do you deliver it?
Yeah. Friday. Friday at 2. Yeah, what do you want?
Looking for Carl Hoffman.
Well, who are you?
It's all right, Sheppy. Let him in. Hiya, Vince.
Hello, Hoffman.
Sheppy, Vince Dario.
Glad to know you.
Thanks.
When'd you get in, Vince?
About 20 minutes ago.
You couldn't have timed it better.
Got something hot?
Mm-hmm. Sheppy, hear of the McGill Company?
The people who make all those plumbing fixtures?
That's right.
Don't tell me you're figuring on knocking them off.
That's what I'm figuring on.
I wish you would have told me that in your letter.
Why?
Because I wouldn't have wasted my time coming to New York.
Let him go, Carl.
Shut up, Sheppy. Now, before you make up your mind, Vince, maybe you ought to hear the deal.
There's no deal where you have to walk into a plant like McGill's.
We don't have to walk in. We grab on the outside.
Come again?
The messenger who delivers the payroll is a character named Harry Jensen. We know to the minute what time he'll get to the factory. Now, you interested?
I'm still here.
They're tearing up the street in front of the place, so he has to park his bus a block away. Now, he'll come down Remsen Street. That's where you and I take over. Sheppy will be covering the street with a Thompson from a vacant room across the way.
Sounds all right.
It gets better as it goes along. Now, we give the dough to Janet.
Wait a second. Who's Janet?
A girlfriend of mine.
I don't like it, Hoffman.
What's the matter now?
I don't like any caper where a babe is involved.
You don't know this, babe. How do you think we found out when they're going to deliver the payroll? She's a real stylish kid.
What's her last name?
Halsey. Wait till you meet her.
I'd like to very much.
It's all up to you, Vince. What do you say?
We got the time, the place, and a girl. What more can a fella ask?
How did she handle, Janet?
All right, I guess.
You guess?
Well, I never did like driving in this kind of weather.
Don't be silly, baby. It's going to make things a lot easier all around, right, Vince?
Sure, the rain will keep him off the streets.
Whoa, sweetheart, wait a minute. Right here will be fine.
Did I shut her off?
Now, keep her running. And remember, when you start off again, go right into second and don't feed her too much gas.
Yeah, I got it.
What time is it, Vince?
Make it a couple of minutes to 2.
Mm-hmm. You see Sheppy across the street?
Think so.
Well, that does it. Are you sure you know what to do, Janet?
Yeah, as soon as I get the bag, I head straight for my apartment.
That's right. Don't hang around no matter what. We'll all be over to your place by 9 to divvy up.
Supposing you aren't.
Don't give it a thought, sweetheart. It'll take more
Now.
than... What?
Is that our friend Harry?
Where?
On the corner.
Yeah, that's him.
All right, Vince. Here's where we go to work.
Lots of luck, honey.
Thanks, baby. Give me a cigarette.
Yeah.
Where's that lighter you're so proud of? Oh, what do you know? It works.
Here he comes.
Hey, buddy.
Me?
Yeah. Can you tell us what Tremont Avenue is?
Oh, you're on the wrong side of town, mister. I tell you what you better do.
I'll tell you what you better do. Don't make a move, bud. Not even a teeny one.
Hey, what is this?
Just what it looks like. Pass that grip to my friend. Go on.
Sorry, pal. You know how it is.
No hard feelings, I hope.
Oh, that's all right, mister. I got a good memory for faces. I won't forget you.
In that case, let me give you something else to remember me by.
Let's pause for a moment. Les Damon returns as the Falcon right after these messages.
Dimension X.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Hopalong Cassidy.
Edgar Bergen.
The Shadow.
John and Blanche Bickerson, the Whistler.
Choose from among thousands of downloadable old-time radio shows and spoken word titles at
MediaBay.com.
The best voice on the net.
Yeah.
And now let's return to Les Damon as the Falcon in the case of the disappearing doll.
Who is it? That should be open up.
Hello, Carl. Vince.
Hi.
Went off like clockwork, didn't it?
Yeah. Where's Janet?
She ain't here.
Huh? What?
No. I was the first one in. It's lucky I had a key to her place, huh?
You're lucky I don't have a suspicious mind.
Well, I have. Did she phone in? You told her to come straight here, didn't you, Carl?
Yeah?
Well, you don't think she had an accident, do you?
No. We would have heard about it. I had the radio in the car tuned to the police calls. But if the cops nabbed her...
You kidding? There was nobody within miles of her. After you chucked the bag into her car, she took off.
She'll show up, Vince.
She better. She's got all the dough.
Just what are you getting at?
You told me yourself she's a very smart girl. Women who are beautiful shouldn't be brainy.
Meaning?
I think we got a double cross.
You're nuts.
I'll leave it to Sheppy.
No. Janet wouldn't do that, Vince.
Why not?
Well, because she never did it before.
Did she ever have 80 grand before?
Look, what are you worried about? It isn't even 9 o'clock.
Well, supposing she doesn't show by 9.
Then I'll start looking for her. And if she isn't dead when I find her, she'll wish to heaven she was.
Hey, you guys got a butt. I'm fresh out.
There's a pack in my coat pocket, Sheppy.
Thanks.
Carl, you wouldn't have anything else in that pocket.
Like what, Vince?
Like 80 grand. Pardon me for pointing, but it's 20 after 9. Your girlfriend hasn't shown up yet.
So?
So I think we ought to start looking for her.
Suppose she comes back in the meantime.
You can always leave a note.
No. I think one of us ought to hang around here.
Who, for instance?
Why, do you want to?
Maybe I better.
Okay, you wait here. Sheppy, you cover the east side. You know the places Janet likes.
I got you.
What are you going to do, Hoffman?
I got an angle I want to try.
Like what?
Never mind. But if Janet's tossing us a curve, I think I know the one guy who can throw her out at home. I'll let you know how I make out.
Yeah?
I'd like to see Mike Waring, the Falcon, please.
You are now.
Oh, well, my name's Carl Hoffman.
Yeah?
Can I come in?
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
Sit down.
Much obliged.
What's on your mind?
Well, I'm looking for a girl.
Aren't we all?
No, I mean, this is a special one. Her name is Janet Halsey.
Janet Halsey?
Yeah. She's my girlfriend.
Well, maybe we better take this from the beginning.
Well, Janet and I were supposed to be married next Sunday. So I opened up a joint account for us at the bank.
How big?
$2,000.
And she skipped?
Mm-hmm. This morning. She lived at the Brighton Towers.
How do you know she didn't meet with an accident?
Well, she's done the same thing before.
Oh, she has?
Yeah. She served 3 years in the women's penitentiary under the name of Lois Hart. She got out in 48.
Well, how come you trusted her with your money?
Well, you know how it is, Waring. You always hope that this time it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll see what I can do, Hoffman. As you say, the first problem is to locate the girl.
Yeah, and the moment you do, will you give me a call? I'll be waiting at the Brighton.
Brighton? Didn't you say that's where your girlfriend lived?
Yeah. I'm using her apartment to operate from.
Uh-huh.
You see, I wouldn't want to miss her if she came back. Well, I guess that does it, Falcon. I'll be waiting for your call.
An hour has passed since Carl Hoffman recruited Mike Waring in his search for Janet Halsey. And now as we find Mike, he is making a tour of some of the shadier spots on New York's 3rd Avenue.
You're looking for someone, mister?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Falcon.
Hello, Joey.
A long time no see, pal. What can I do for you, Mike?
Well, you're a man who knows all the wrong people. Ever hear of a girl named Janet Halsey? Huh? Oh, we seem to have an audience.
Yeah, and I like your act, mister.
Only I missed the last line. Would you mind repeating it?
Now, cut it out, Sheppy. This is Mike Waring.
I don't give a rap who he is. What do you want with Janet Halsey? I don't think that's any of your business. All right. Suppose we take a little walk outside. No, thanks. It's too hot. That's all right. I got something in my pocket to chill you off.
Now, take it easy,
Just
Sheppy.
keep out of this, Joe. What do you say, Waring? I don't seem to have much choice in the matter. No. Let's start walking.
I'm sorry, Mike.
It's all right, Joey. All in a day's work. Quit gabbing. Come on, I haven't got all day. Look, if you'd like to put this off, don't be a wise guy. Okay, where do we go from here? Let's try that alley. Now, look, you heard me. All right, hold it. This is fine. Now, let's pick up where we left off. What do you want with Janet? It's a long story, Sheppy. It's okay. You're not going anywhere. Oh, it might surprise you.
Here we go.
Get that hand out of your pocket.
Let go or I'll what?
All right, punk, on your feet.
Leave me alone.
I said on your feet. Why are you so interested in Janet Halsey?
Maybe I'm looking for her, too.
Maybe, and then again, maybe you know where she is.
No.
Where can I find her?
I got no idea.
Well, get one.
Let me go.
Come on, Shep, you can keep this up all night.
Have you been to the Brighton Towers?
No, but someone else has, and she wasn't there.
Well, you might try the Riverdale. Apartment 4E.
Oh, thanks a lot, fella. You've been a great help. Let's do it again sometime. Who is it?
Where's Sheppy, Vince?
Out looking.
Did he phone in?
No, I guess he had nothing to report. How did you make out?
Not so hot.
I guess that leaves me up the well-known creek.
What are you griping about? We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, but I didn't bring Janet into the act. You did, Hoffman.
Okay, and I'll find her.
I don't see you making any progress.
Maybe not, but I hired somebody who will.
Who?
A fellow named Mike Waring.
A private dick?
That's right.
What's the idea? You going off your trolley?
Relax, will you, Vince? I gave him a song and dance about wanting to find Janet. This guy Waring has plenty of contact.
Well, I don't like it.
You, the boy, was belly aching that I wasn't doing anything.
You didn't have to go that far.
No, how far would you go for 80 grand?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Thanks.
That must be Sheppy.
I'll take it. Yeah, what do you want?
I beg your pardon. I must have the wrong number.
Wait a minute. Is that you, Janet? Hello. Hello.
What's the trouble?
I think that was Janet.
You're imagining things.
Don't tell me. I'd recognize her voice anywhere.
What made her call and then hang up?
You know something, Vince? That's just what I was wondering. I'll be back in an hour.
Hello.
Hello, is it Janet Halsey's apartment?
Yeah?
Carl
Who's calling?
Mike Waring.
We just stepped out for a while. Want to leave a message?
Who's this?
It's okay. I'm a friend of his. My name is Vince Dario.
Well, tell Hoffman I've got a lead on his girlfriend. She's supposed to be at Riverdale Arms. If you'll meet me at the 86 Club, we'll go over together.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Waring. I know Carl'll be glad to hear that.
Waring, over here.
It's about time, Hoffman.
Sorry I'm late, but I just got your message. Where'd you get your dope from?
A punk named Sheppy Oliver.
What?
Yeah, he pulled a gun on me.
That's the funniest thing I've heard yet.
Is it?
Yeah. Sheppy's a friend of mine.
Oh, is that so?
Sure. When he heard you asking for Janet, he must have gotten suspicious.
Why?
Well, he's not very bright. What was that address he gave you again?
Riverdale Arms.
That's what I thought. It's a bump steer.
How do you know?
That's where Sheppy lives himself.
Why would he give me his own address?
Probably rattled him so badly it was the only thing he could think of.
Well, that's one possibility.
Can you think of any other?
Yeah, maybe Janet had a partner.
You mean Sheppy?
Why not?
He's my best friend.
Uh-huh. Janet was your best girl. Let's go see who's playing on whose team.
The last one down the hall, Waring. You know, there's one thing that throws me.
Only one?
After I left your office, I went back to Janet's apartment. I was talking with Vince Dario when the phone rang.
So?
A girl got on. I would have sworn it was Janet, but she claimed it was the wrong number.
Well, maybe she was trying to get in touch with Sheppy, and she got frightened when she heard your voice.
Could be, but I never thought Sheppy was their type. This is the place. I just can't believe that he...
What's the matter? Unlocked?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as I figured. Well, I guess I better call the police, huh?
Well, what's the matter?
Take a good look.
Holy smoke. It's Sheppy.
Yeah, and with that slug in his head, I don't think he's in any position to call the cops himself. Where's the phone?
Come on, Vince, open up. What took you so long?
I was busy. Who's your friend?
Oh, that's right. You boys haven't met. Mike, this is Vince Dario.
How do you do?
Hi. How did that lead pan out?
Not too bad.
You find Janet there?
No, we found Sheppy.
I don't get it.
He was murdered.
Murdered? By who, Janet?
That's one way to look at it.
Still any other?
Yeah, I suppose Janet was working with a man.
You mean Sheppy? I don't see it.
That's just what I said.
Look, Carl, suppose we forget the whole thing.
What do you mean?
We gambled and lost.
Oh, you surprised me, Vince. A couple hours ago, you were bawling me out for not doing anything. Now you're willing to write the whole thing off.
There's no use crying over spilt milk.
Sure. With 80 grand in your pocket, you can always buy yourself another quart.
Oh?
You say something, Waring?
Just oh.
Look, Carl, you've been hinting at something all along. What is it?
I think you know where Janet is.
You're crazy.
I was a sucker not to see it before.
Don't be a fool, Carl. Can't you see what Janet's doing? She murdered Sheppy. Now she's turning us against each other.
Well, somebody put her up to it, and I got a feeling that...
Quit it, you drunk!
Cut it out, Hoffman. None of this, Mike. Where is she, Vince?
Come on, Hoffman, break it up.
Mike, let go. I said break it up. Okay. Dario.
What was the idea, Hoffman?
I don't like double crosses. Get the keys out of his pocket.
What for?
I got a hunch Janet is holed up in his apartment, and I'm going to play it to the hilt.
Only a few minutes have passed since Carl Hoffman decided that Janet might be hiding in Vince Dario's apartment. Now he and Mike are at Dario's, but so far there's been no sign of Janet.
Well, looks like your hunch was worthless, Hoffman.
You try the kitchen?
I've been all over the place. There's no one here.
I still believe that Janet was...
Wait a minute. Open that drawer again. I thought I saw an envelope in there.
Yeah, you're right. Mr. Vince Dario, 2719 Bolton Avenue, Detroit.
Look at the postmark.
Bedford Hills, March 16th, 1948.
Now look at the return address on the other side.
Janet Halsey, State Penitentiary for Women.
Uh-huh.
You get it? And I was right. Vince knew Janet all along.
Well, you could build up a convincing case on the face of it.
Yeah, but where is she now?
Well, can't you think of some way she might go?
Oh, we've covered every possible hideout.
No, we haven't. There's one place you're forgetting, Hoffman.
Whose?
Yours.
What are you talking about?
You're the man who put Janet up to this. You planned to double-cross your ma from the beginning.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I thought you did pretty well. You murdered Sheppy and framed Vince Dario, and that only left Janet to be taken care of.
What about you?
I don't think you're man enough.
That just goes to...
What's the matter, Hoffman? You lose something? That's what you're looking for?
Where'd you get that gun?
I lifted it off you when you were shoving Dario around. Just say the word, friend, and I'll give it back to you. A slug at a time.
Well, what happened after that, Mike?
You know the rest, Janet. As soon as the police picked up Carl, I went to his apartment.
And picked me up.
And not a bad day's work at that.
Thanks.
No, I'm talking about the little bag you had with you containing $80,000 belonging to the McGill Company.
Oh.
Now, what gets me is how you people knew exactly what time the payroll was to be delivered.
Oh, I had inside information.
From the boy who delivered it?
How did you guess?
It figured. What did you do? Use your feminine wiles?
It didn't take much. He wanted to prove what a great big man he was.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have that effect on the opposite sex.
Do I?
Yeah, it's just too bad you had all your work for nothing.
Yeah, I guess when you come down to it, I was pretty lucky at that.
You sure were, Angel. There's no doubt that with Sheppy and Vince Dario disposed of, you were next on Carl's list.
Dirty double-crosser.
No. There's no reason to be angry. After all, you were in on 99% of the plot. He just neglected to tell you the big finish he planned for you. Oh, incidentally, when you called your apartment and got Hoffman on the phone, why did you pretend it was the wrong number?
We had it arranged. When Carl picked up the phone and said, yes, what do you want, I knew he wasn't alone, and that was my cue to hang up.
Pretty cute. That was the second way he convinced Dario he was acting above board.
What was the first, Mike?
Hiring me. He had to go through with the motions of trying to find you, and what would make him look more innocent than hiring a private detective?
I still don't see what proved to you he was guilty.
Well, the return address on the envelope I found in Dario's room gave your name as Janet Halsey. And Carl told me when you were up at the Women's Pen, you served time under the name of Lois Hart. So obviously the letter was a frame.
And Carl was the only one who could have planted it.
That's right.
You know, you're pretty wonderful, honey. I mean, Mr. Waring.
Oh, I don't mind you getting affectionate. After all, we're going to be seeing lots of each other, Janet.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. Whoop. Almost past our destination.
Is this where you live?
What's the matter with you, Janet? Don't you recognize the building?
It's police headquarters.
That's right.
Why, you no good double cross.
Now. What are you complaining about, Angel? I promised you we'd be seeing a lot of each other. Can I help it if for the next 10 years it'll have to be through bars?
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Nina. I'm glad you called. Oh, you'll have to count me out tonight, Angel. I'm in the middle of a hot deal. Some boys I know are interested in the big money, and they figure if we put all our capital in the gun, we ought to make a killing.
The Kraft Foods Company brings you The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the Quarrelsome Quartet. Before the Falcon starts on tonight's case, I'd like to say just a word about something extra delicious. Kraft mayonnaise. Here's really true mayonnaise at its finest. One taste will tell you that. Just one taste of delicate, exquisitely flavored Kraft mayonnaise will tell you that here is mayonnaise to delight even the fussiest cook. Try it. Try it and see for yourself. Tomorrow when you shop, get a jar of wonderful tasting Kraft mayonnaise. And now, the case of the Quarrelsome Quartet. It's late evening in New York, and in a shabby apartment on Manhattan's West Side, a short, heavy-set boy named Dixie Taylor watches his companion, Georgie Reynolds, attack an age-old problem.
how to dispose of an empty bottle. But George is equal to the occasion, for spying the fireplace, he comes up with a practical solution.
Well, I guess that's one way to get rid of your empty.
Anybody ask you, Taylor?
No.
All right, then shut your face. Hazel? Hey!
You want me, George?
No, I was just rehearsing. I'm going in for hard calling.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I was busy.
Well, I hope I wasn't interrupting anything important.
No, honey.
Get me another bottle.
Well, darling, don't you
Didn't
think...
I tell you something?
All right, George.
There's one in my bedroom closet. Well, what are you staring at, Dixie?
I was just wondering about Hazel.
Well, don't. If you're going to do any wondering, think about Martinez.
Although he'll be here.
Yeah, when? He was due an hour ago.
Or maybe he had some trouble finding Saunders.
Oh, that's just ducky. What goes on with you guys anyway? Do I have to tell you?
That's probably Martinez and Saunders now.
Hazel?
Yes, George?
Didn't you hear that?
Well, I was trying to get...
Never mind the alibis. Answer it.
Yeah, just a second.
Hello, Hazel.
Hello, Mr. Martinez.
Your boyfriend here?
Yeah, we're in the kitchen. Come on in. Bring your friend with you.
Hi, Georgie. Hello, Taylor.
Hello, Louis.
Well, you took your own sweet time getting here, Martinez.
Well, I have a little bit trouble finding Mr. Saunders here.
Gentlemen?
Bring in a couple of chairs, Hazel.
Yes, dear.
All right, now go on. Go on. Beat it.
But, darling...
I said beat it. These fellas and I have some business to discuss. Well, Martinez, did you tell Saunders what I lined up?
No, I think was maybe better I leave that for you.
It's a snatch, Saunders.
A what?
A snatch.
That's what I thought you said. Well, it's been nice knowing you, gentlemen.
Sit down, Saunders.
No, thanks. I'm not interested.
Cost you something to listen?
All right.
Ever hear of Big Joe Gallagher?
Well, enough to know that if he's the party you got in mind, you can include me out, as the saying goes.
Now, don't be a jerk, Saunders. Sure, Gallagher's a big rackets boy, but that's just why we can get away with this.
You're crazy. Now, look, Martinez, why didn't you tell me
Let
that...
Georgie finish.
Dixie and I used to work for Gallagher. We know what makes him tick. A guy in his position would never yell copper.
Yes, but there's one thing you're overlooking. From what I know of Mr. Gallagher, he never goes anywhere without 2 or 3 of his boys. How are you going to separate the wheat from the chaff?
I got it all figured out. Gallagher's a ladies' man, see? Now, if a babe were to call him up and arrange a blind date, it's dollars to donuts he'd go for it.
I doubt it.
Don't tell me. I've seen it work a dozen times.
You got the girl?
Yeah, Hazel, the one who let you in.
I suppose she talks.
She wouldn't dare. Besides, she doesn't have to know what's going on. I'll tell her the whole thing's a gag.
Well, where do I come in?
Hazel will arrange to meet Gallagher at the 49 Club. You and Martinez will pick him up.
What about you and Taylor?
Now, we can't take a chance. He knows us. Well, what do you say, Saunders?
You think this will work, Martinez?
Why not? Georgie's got all the angles figured out.
So it would seem. Okay, gentlemen. Deal me in.
Yeah? I'd like to speak to Mr. Gallagher, please. Who wants him? Well, he wouldn't know me, but you can tell him I'm a friend of Gloria Wilson. I never heard of her.
Are you Mr. Gallagher?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Gloria made me promise to look you up when I got to New York.
I'm sorry, sister. I don't know anybody by that handle.
She was a chorus girl at Pirandello's.
Hey, wait a minute, baby. What's your name?
Hazel Wall.
You look anything like you sound, Hazel?
Oh, now, really, Mr.
No,
Gallagher?
kidding, because if you do, I'd like to see you.
I'm afraid that's out of the question, Mr. Gallagher. I'm flying to the coast tonight.
What time?
1:15.
Well, that still gives us 3 hours to get acquainted. What do you say, baby?
All right. But you'll have to meet me here. You see, I'm expecting friends.
Oh, that's okay. Where are you?
It's a little place called the 49 Club. Do you know it?
No, but I'll manage. What color dress you wearing?
Blue.
My favorite color. Okay, Hazel. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Say, buddy.
Who, me?
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have seen a blonde around, huh?
Blue dress?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm glad to know you, Mr. Gallagher.
Oh, who are you?
Hazel's cousin.
Didn't she tell you we're having a little farewell party in her honor?
Well, she said something about friends.
Oh, now don't get frightened. We'll be pushing off in a few minutes, and that'll give you enough time to talk to Hazel alone.
Where is she?
She's in the back room with the rest of the family.
Well, let's go.
Right down here.
By the way, feller, I don't believe I caught your name.
Well, it's the same as Hazel's.
Related on your father's side.
Yes, that's right. Oh, here we are.
Hiya, fellas.
Hello, Louis. This is Hazel's friend.
Pleasure to know you, Mr. Gallagher.
Where's Hazel?
Oh, she just stepped out for a minute.
Well, where's the rest of the crowd?
Crowd?
Yeah, her cousin told me she had a flock of relatives down here.
Never believe Saunders. He's a big joker.
Saunders? I thought his name was Walsh. What goes on here anyway?
Watch him, Saunders.
Just keep those hands where they are, Mr. Gallagher. Frisk him, Martinez.
Get your hands off me.
Don't get excited, Mr. Gallagher. He's bad for your blood pressure.
Is he clean?
He is now.
Good. Would you be kind enough to accompany us, Mr. Gallagher?
Oh, no, you're not getting me to walk out of here.
Well, as long as you feel that way. You have to hand it to him, Martinez. He said he wasn't walking out of here, and he was right.
Those guys, anyway. Got the time, Dixie?
You asked me that just 5 minutes ago, George.
Now, don't get smart. Think anything could have gone wrong?
Not a chance.
What'd you tell Gallagher's wife?
Just what you told me. I said we had a husband, and if she wanted him back, she was to dig up $100,000.
Yeah, maybe I should have gone for it myself instead of sending Saunders and Martinez.
What are you worried about, Georgie? They managed the snatch, all right.
Yeah, but how do I know that they're able...
George.
I'll get it.
Hello, George.
You got it, Saunders?
What does this bag look like?
All right, let me have it. How'd it go off?
Oh, the clock works. As soon as Mrs. Gallagher gives us the money, I give her the key and tell her where to find her husband.
Oh, nice work, Louis.
Yes, I guess congratulations are in order all around. $100,000. Just think of it.
You think of it, Saunders, because that's as close as you're getting to it.
What do you mean, George?
Well, I tell you, friend, it's like this. The boys and I had a little talk.
And you decided why split 4 ways, huh?
Why, you catch on fast.
But didn't you think I'd have anything to say about that?
All right, put away that gun, Saunders.
Yeah, Georgie was only clowning.
Yes, I'll bet. You know, I'm a little surprised at you, Dixie.
Look, if we were going to double-cross you, you think we'd send you for the dough?
Sure, that doesn't make sense, does it? No, don't move, Parsi. Just drop the gun.
Nice going, Martinez. Well, Mr. Smart Guy, what do you say now?
That's enough, Georgie.
Go on, Saunders. Beat it.
All right. Gentlemen, if this little get-together hasn't been pleasant, it has been informative. Well, I'll be very glad to show you what I learned next time we meet.
Alone?
I'm looking for a Michael Waring, private detective called the Falcon.
Well, you picked the right place.
Oh, are you...
Mm-hmm. Come on in, Angel.
Thank you.
Sit down.
I suppose I should introduce myself.
It's customary.
Well, my name is Hazel Walsh.
Hazel Walsh?
That's right.
Who recommended me?
Well, I remembered hearing about the Falcon years ago.
And you filed the information away for this more convenient date,
Yes. Are you available for a case?
At $50 a day in expenses, I am. What's your problem?
Well, it's really not my problem, Mr. Waring. A girlfriend of mine is engaged to some man, and she believes that he's done something...
Crooked?
Of course not.
All right, let's call it unethical. Go on.
Well, if the man ever was caught, could they force my friend to be a witness against him?
They certainly could.
Even though she found out about it by accident?
Doesn't make any difference, Miss Walsh.
Well, isn't there anything she can do?
Nope. Only if she were married to him could she refuse to testify.
Well, if we got married... I mean, if they got married,
Let's use the first example, Hazel. It'll be easier on us both.
Now, look here, Mr. Waring.
No, you look, Angel. You're obviously in some sort of a jam. Now, what is it?
I tell you, you're wrong.
What did your boyfriend do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
All right. I suppose you tell me his name.
It's Harry Prescott.
Come on, Hazel. What's his name?
Well, you have no right to question me like this.
No, but the police have.
Well, you're not going to call him.
No?
Well, it's George Reynolds.
You the same Georgie Reynolds who used to run with the Gallagher mob?
No. No, it's not that one at all.
Uh-huh. Well, suppose you introduce us and let me see for myself. I'm an easy man to convince.
Well, sounds as though Mike follows that good old theory that seeing is believing. Of course, that's a pretty smart idea, I think. And it's a good one for everyone to follow when it comes to food. For example, I can tell you how satiny smooth Kraft mayonnaise is. What an amazing, creamy, rich texture it has because of the special way Kraft blends it. But to really appreciate just how smooth Kraft Kitchen Fresh mayonnaise is, get a jar and see for yourself. That way you can taste for yourself, too. You won't have to take my word for it that Kraft mayonnaise is especially good, with a delicate, delightful flavor, the result of careful blending of only the finest oils and eggs, the most fragrant vinegars and spices. Yes, the best way to tell is to taste Kraft mayonnaise yourself. Try it on a cool and colorful salad of hollowed-out tomatoes topped with spicy deviled eggs and garnished with fresh and tangy watercress. It's really delicious. So tomorrow when you shop, get a jar of Kraft Kitchen Fresh mayonnaise. Whether you're serving a simple, everyday kind of salad or a fancy company special, you'll enjoy it more with true mayonnaise at its finest. Kraft mayonnaise. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon.
15 minutes have passed since Hazel Walsh introduced herself to Mike Waring, and now the two are on their way to Georgie Reynolds' apartment. And strangely enough, Miss Walsh doesn't seem too delighted by the trip.
I don't know why I let you talk me into this, Mr. Waring.
It's simple, Hazel. You're the kind of girl who's taken such a licking you could be talked into anything.
That's a lie.
All right, then why did you bring me here?
Because I thought you could help George.
Well, if it's the same George I think it is, you'll have to get yourself another boy. Whatever made you tie up with a guy like that?
I don't think that concerns you.
This the place?
Yes.
Can I help?
No, thanks.
Where's the light switch?
A little over to your right. Have you got it?
Yep.
George!
Stop that. I saw him. Now you stay where you are.
Is he?
Yes, he's nothing else but. Someone gave it to him right through the temple.
George!
Look, you get a grip on yourself.
How can you talk to me like that when my fiancé's been murdered?
I can talk to you like that because it's not your fiancé.
What?
This is a boy named Dixie Taylor. Now will you behave?
I can't believe it, Mr. Waring. There must be some mistake.
What's the matter, Hazel? You disappointed it isn't George?
Of course not.
Did you know Taylor?
Well, he was a friend of George's. I saw him around here once or twice.
Who else was a member of this fraternity?
Just a man named Louis Martinez.
Oh, well, that's some select group. I've heard of all of them. Did they blackball anyone recently?
I don't know what you mean.
Did your boyfriend and Martinez cross anyone lately?
I don't think so.
Hazel, you better stop lying. You don't do it very well.
Well, there was a Nick Saunders.
Good-looking boy, around 35?
Yes.
What did they fight about?
I don't know.
You think Saunders might have killed Dixie?
I suppose so.
How about George?
No.
Oh, Hazel, don't be a sucker. You think he'll appreciate your loyalty?
Why don't you ask him, Waring?
Georgie.
All right, I will. Isn't it nice of her not to suspect you, George?
Not to suspect me of what?
Take a look under that blanket.
Oh. Who did it?
That's just what I was asking. You got any suggestions?
Nary a one. Say, who invited you here anyway?
She didn't.
Oh, is that so?
Darling, I was only thinking of you.
Now, that's the truth, George. Never have I seen a woman show so much concern.
All right, Waring, beat it. I don't need you.
How about Hazel?
She don't need you either. Go on, Hazel. Tell him.
I made a mistake, Mr. Waring. I'm sorry.
You mean that?
Yes.
Okay. So be it. Oh, when the police show up, tell them I have to leave.
It'll be a pleasure.
Listen, Georgie, I know what you're going to say.
Do you?
Oh, darling, I was only thinking of you. I know what you, Dixie Martinez, did to Saunders. That's why I went to Waring.
Well, that was smart.
But I was worried about Saunders.
And I'm worried about you, Hazel. You think you'll ever learn to keep your mouth shut? Or do I have to teach you?
Hello, Corbett. This is Mike Waring.
What's on your mind, Mike?
Listen, what kind of caper has Georgie Reynolds pulled recently?
Well, there's some talk going around that Big Joe Gallagher was snatched last week.
Well, that's crazy, Sergeant. I saw him on 48th Street yesterday.
I know, but that's the story we got. According to one of my pet stoolies, his missus laid out $100,000 to get him back.
You think Georgie Reynolds was behind it?
Wouldn't be at all surprised.
Well, can't you do anything?
You tell me how when we got no proof, and Mrs. Gallagher hasn't seen fit to make a complaint.
Was Nick Saunders in on it?
You seem to know more about it than I do. What do you know about Saunders?
Not quite enough, Sergeant. I'll let you know the minute I learn more. Oh, by the way, there is a body over at Georgie Reynolds' apartment. Go over and pick it up like a good fellow, will you?
Yes?
Hello, Saunders. Remember me?
Oh, sure. You're the Falcon, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Can I come in?
Why not? Sorry I can't offer you anything.
Well, you never know unless you try.
All right, Waring, what's on your mind?
Well, I heard you and George Reynolds had a little trouble last night.
You must be thinking of two other guys.
Well, what gets me is why you took it out on Taylor.
Taylor?
Yeah, haven't you heard? He's dead.
Not my old pal, Dixie. Well, what do you know?
I know you better have a pretty good alibi handy. Come on, Saunders, get your coat. We're going to headquarters.
Just brief me on one thing, Waring. You're a private detective, aren't you?
That's right.
Now, where do you get off pushing people around?
It's my hobby. You going to get your coat, or will you go like that?
Well, act your age.
Put away the gun, Saunders. Put it away before I...
Cut it out.
Go on, drop it.
No, drop it.
All right, now, what do you say, friend? Do we take that little ride I mentioned?
Okay, Waring. But don't be surprised if someday I return the favor.
Is there a guy named Mike Waring here?
That's me, Inspector.
Come in here. I want to talk to you.
Okay. See you later, Sergeant.
Yeah, bad. Sit down, Waring.
Oh, thanks.
Sergeant Corbett tells me you're the boy who brought in Saunders.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad you got a kick out of it, because I just talked to headquarters about you.
What for?
To see how they feel about attempted blackmail.
What are you talking about?
Didn't you try to shake down Saunders?
Is that what he claimed?
No, I can put two and two together myself.
Well, you ought to go back to school, Inspector. There's something wrong with your arithmetic.
I doubt it. When you start shoving a guy around just because he's got a record, there's only one answer.
Oh, you're crazy. I tell you, Saunders killed Dixie Taylor.
How?
He shot him, that's how.
From Philadelphia?
Oh, what are you talking about?
According to the coroner, Dixie Taylor died at 8:30 p.m.
So what?
Well, at 8:25, Saunders was picked up by the Pennsylvania State Police for carrying a rod without a license. And he wasn't released until 2 hours later. Now, who doesn't know his arithmetic?
Hello, Mike.
What? Hazel. How did you get in here?
The superintendent let me in. I've got to talk to you.
Now, that makes us even, Angel, because I want to talk to you.
Look, you've got to drop the case.
Now, that raises a problem. How can I drop something I've never been paid for in the first place?
I don't understand.
I mean, if I'm going to work for free, I might as well do it for myself.
You can't do that.
Well, I'd like to see someone stop me. What's Georgie's phone number?
Why?
Because I want to talk to him.
What about?
The murder of Dixie Taylor.
He doesn't know anything about it.
Are you kidding? Now, what's the number? Come on, Hazel, I'm not clowning.
It's Raleigh 4099.
Now, cheer up, baby. When I get through with Mr. Reynolds, he won't ever lay a hand on you again.
You don't hear me complain.
Next, you'll be telling me you love the guy.
I do.
Is that you, Reynolds?
No, this is Luis Martinez. How are you?
Mike Waring, let me talk to George.
I I'm afraid that is out of the question.
Listen, Martinez, if I have to come over there...
It still won't do you any good. He's dead.
He's what?
Yeah. Someone fed him a dose of strychnine about an hour ago. And somehow we didn't seem to agree with him.
It's not true, Mike. I don't believe it. Martinez was lying.
I suppose we go over and check.
But George, it's dead.
Oh, come on, Hazel. Get a grip on yourself. You're better off without him.
Oh, how can you talk that way?
Because it's the truth. He was no good.
That's a lie.
No, don't give me that. You knew he was the brain behind the big Joe Gallagher snatch.
No, you're wrong.
Who are you kidding? Oh, so incidentally, what happened to the loot?
The loot?
The ransom money Mrs. Gallagher paid off.
How would I know?
Well, you would if anybody would. You can't keep it, Angel.
I didn't intend to.
Then where is it?
Well, they didn't tell me, but I watched them through the keyhole.
Where did they put it?
Under the middle cushion of the sofa in George's apartment.
Okay, let's get it before someone else gets the same idea. I wouldn't be surprised if we're a little late now.
You know what Mike said just now about getting there first? Sounds like the race that usually goes on at my house for the last piece of cold chicken in the refrigerator. But a chicken sandwich sure makes a swell snack, especially when you put lots of Kraft mayonnaise on the bread. The delicate flavor of Kraft mayonnaise is just exactly what you want. And Kraft mayonnaise is so creamy, rich, and smooth. Just try it. For a grand sandwich spread, as well as for fine salads, there's nothing like true mayonnaise at its finest. Kraft Kitchen Fresh mayonnaise. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. A half hour has passed since Mike Waring learned that with the recent death of Georgie Reynolds and the earlier demise of Dixie Taylor, the original quartet was now working as a duo on $100,000 worth of loose notes. And now as we rejoin the team of Mark and Hazel, they're making their entrance at Georgie Reynolds' apartment. But Hazel seems to be suffering with a bad case of stage fright.
What's the matter, Angel? Having trouble?
Guess I'm a little nervous.
Here, let me try.
Come in, folks.
Louis.
What do you expect? Shut the door, Waring.
Look, Martinez.
I said shut the door. I'll raise them high.
All right, you don't have to worry. I'm clean.
I don't believe in taking chances.
What's the matter? No sporting blood?
Yeah, I guess I'm yellow. Too bad Georgie didn't have as much sense.
Where is he?
Move the club chair.
What?
Yeah, gone. He's behind it.
George!
That won't bring him back.
You killed him?
Well, while we're on this subject, where were you at 11:30?
She was waiting for me in my apartment.
Nice.
Look, you better watch that mouth.
And you better watch yours. All right, Hazel, where is it?
Where is what?
The dough we got from Gallagher.
I don't know.
Don't give me that. I want it, honey bunch, and nothing's going to keep me from it, understand?
I wouldn't count on that, Louis.
What?
No. Don't bother turning around, Martinez. It's only me.
Listen, Saunders.
Don't mind if I do, Martinez, but first drop the gun. That's a sweetheart.
You want me to pick it up?
No. Don't trouble yourself, Waring. I can manage. Oh, what happened to Georgie?
The same thing that happened to Dixie Taylor. And
he was such a sweet guy, wasn't he? Oh, by the way, when I walked in here, Martinez was asking you a question. I don't remember your answering it. Would you like to now?
You'll never see a penny of that money.
Come on, Hazel. We're wasting time. Where is it?
You better tell him, Angel. I think he means business.
I do, and make no mistake about it.
It's under the middle cushion of the sofa.
What? Stay where you are, Martinez. I'll do my own checking. Oh, now, isn't that pretty?
Listen, Saunders.
I'm afraid I haven't the time, Louis.
You'll have to find it, Saunders.
What?
Get down, Hazel!
Hey!
Had enough, Saunders? Yes, he has.
Oh, hello, Sergeant.
Hiya, Mike. The inspector sent me around to apologize.
Oh, what happened?
20 minutes ago, a call came through from Philly that Saunders they picked up there was this guy's cousin.
I thought there was something screwy playing.
Well, if you fellas don't mind.
Just a minute. Where are you going, Martinez?
Well, I just figure it's no point in my hanging around just now.
Well, you better get used to it, Louis. You're going to do quite a bit of it from now on.
What are you talking about?
You killed Dixie Taylor and George Reynolds.
You're crazy.
Well, maybe you're right. Here I've got you hanging when any kid knows that in New York they burn you. All right, Sergeant, prove it to him.
Oh, don't say it, Angel.
But I was just going to
Ask me to explain things,
Well, yes.
Well, I guess you're entitled to it. You see, this was a modern version of thieves falling out. When Louis Martinez saw how George double-crossed Saunders, it didn't take him long to figure that he was next. So he decided to beat your boyfriend to the punch. First he killed Dixie, which made it look bad for Saunders. And then to ensure his bet, he killed George.
Then why did he wait at the house for us?
Well, he had to. You were the only one who knew where the money was stashed. And until he got it, he committed 2 murders for nothing.
Well, couldn't Saunders have done that?
I knew Martinez was the killer long before Saunders ever showed up.
How?
Well, Martinez told us he hadn't called the police, so obviously there was no autopsy performed. Yet he knew exactly what poison killed George and the time he got it. Remember he told me over the phone that George had been fed a dose of strychnine an hour before I called?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, how would he know that unless he was right there feeding it to him?
Shall I tell you something?
I wish you would.
I lied to you about loving George. You see, otherwise I was afraid you might suspect me.
Oh, I couldn't afford to, Angel.
Why not?
Well, you're much prettier than Martinez and Saunders.
Oh, I don't understand.
Well, you see, I figured to wrap up this case around midnight. And if you were guilty, what would I do for a date?
Folks, here's sure, pure enjoyment for the whole family. Real, honest-to-goodness malteds made with Kraft chocolate-flavored malted milk. Easy to fix, too. You just make a tasty paste of Kraft malted milk in the bottom of a tall glass. Then fill the glass brimful of milk and stir it. Enjoy the best malted you ever put to your lips. Include Kraft malted milk on your shopping list for Tuesday. Enjoy a Kraft malted for snacks, with meals, or before bedtime. But be sure it's Kraft malted milk. At your food store now. The Case of the Worried Champion. The Case of the Worried Champion. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that a boxing title is something a number of people are willing to shoot for. So be sure to listen next week at this same time to another exciting adventure of the Falcon, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, produced by Bernard L. Schubert, written today by Gene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Music was by Arlo. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon, with Amzie Strickland as Hazel. This is Jay Jackson speaking.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Grace. Well, I'm glad you called. I'll have to cancel out tonight, Angel. I'm all jammed up. Mm-hmm. Some girl I know just brought me a very unusual proposition, and I'll be hanged if I touch it.
The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now, join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the talented twins. And now, the case of the talented twins. It's late evening in New York, and a yellow convertible tears down Riverside Drive. At the wheel is George Alexander, who operates the car as though he owned the streets. Yeah, Mr. Alexander is a big operator. And the blonde alongside of him knows it.
You warm enough, Masha?
Oh, I'm fine, Mr. Alexander.
My friends call me George. Now, why don't...
Oh, you passed it.
Huh?
You should have turned right on 76th.
What for?
Well, that's where I live.
Oh, I'm not taking you home, Masha.
Now, really, Mr. Alexander...
George.
The only reason I consented to go with you was because Mr. Kemp introduced us.
You like singing at Mr. Kemp's club?
Yes, of course. What's that got to do with it?
It's got everything to do, sweetheart. I own the joint.
Oh.
Sure. Whose idea do you think it is for Kemp to give you a job in the first place?
I didn't know.
Well, anytime you don't know something, Masha, you just ask George. He's got all the answers.
Well, if you don't mind, Mr. George, I'd like to go home. Really, I've got a splitting headache.
That's okay. I have my boy fix you up something at my place. Why don't you sit a little closer?
I'm perfectly comfortable over here.
Nah, it's too far away.
Please, Mr. Alexander, you better look where you're going.
Come on, Marcia, be sociable. What, do you want to sit there all by...
Look out!
Huh?
You're going to hit that man! You're not going to leave him lying there.
Why not?
He may be dead.
We can't do him any good.
Let me out.
Get your hand up that door, Marcia. I'll let you go when I'm good and ready. And I'm not ready yet. Yes?
I'm looking for Michael Waring.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Are you the one they call the Falcon?
When they can't think of anything worse. Come on in, Miss...
Davis. Ruth Davis.
Sit down.
Thanks.
Now, what can I do for you?
I'm not quite sure. Did you happen to notice an item in this morning's paper about a man being killed in a hit-and-run accident last night?
Yes?
That man was my father.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want you to find the driver of that car.
Why?
Well, isn't that obvious? That man murdered my dad. He murdered him just as surely as if he used a gun. I don't care what it costs.
You should, Angel. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that anything you invest in a case like this, it'd be money thrown down the sewer. As I recall, the police don't have a single lead.
Oh, yes, they do. There was a man named Arthur Crane who witnessed the accident. He might know more than he's told them.
What makes you think so?
Call it a woman's intuition?
You know that's greatly overrated.
Maybe, but there's no harm in trying.
Mm-hmm. What did you say this witness's name was again?
Arthur Crane.
Arthur Crane. All right, Angel. I'll do what I can.
Here it is, Artie. Alexander, George, real estate, 1792 Belmore. It's Elwood O6742.
Wonder if that's the right Alexander.
Well, it has to be. Didn't the license bureau tell you that was the name of the party who owned the car?
Yep.
Well, it's the only George Alexander in the book.
All right, hand me the phone. What's that number again?
Elwood O6742.
See who that is, will you?
You expecting anyone?
Nope. Too early for Jack to drop around.
Just a second. Yeah.
You want the Crane?
No.
Well, is he in? Who is it, Pete?
It's some guy who wants to see you.
How do you do, Mr. Crane? How do you do? My name is Mike Waring. I'm a private detective. Private detective? Yeah, at the moment I'm working for Ruth Davis. Who? Ruth Davis. She's the daughter of the man who was killed last night in that hit-and-run accident. Oh, well, sit down, won't you? Pete, see if we got any beer on ice.
Yeah.
Don't bother, Mr.
Jordan. Pete Jordan, and it's no bother at all.
Yeah, go on, Pete. Now, what can I do for you, Waring? Well, according to the police blotter, you were the one who discovered Davis's body after the accident. That's right. I was coming home from a club date. Club date? Mm-hmm. I'm a musician. Oh. I play piano with a small combo around town. Mm-hmm. Well, go on. Well, just as I got out of the subway, I saw this guy Davis laying in the gutter. What time was that? Oh, it must have been around 3:15. First, I thought it was just some stew bum, you know. Mm-hmm. Until I saw that briefcase under his arm, then I realized it must have been an accident. Well, you couldn't have gotten there much after it happened. That's the cops told me. You didn't notice any sign of a car around? Nope. Well, there couldn't have been too many cars out at that hour. This is very important to my client. Look, Waring, if there was any way I could possibly help you, I'd be glad to. Any driver who pulls a stunt like that ought to get it in the neck. Yeah, sure, but you can't tell me any more than you have, huh? Not a thing. I'm sorry. I wish I could.
Well, here's your beer, gents.
Well, I'm afraid I'll have to ask for a rain check, Jordan. You going already? Yeah, I got to. But I'll leave my card. If you think of anything... Just leave it to me, Waring. If I think of anything, I'll know what to do.
Yeah?
Is Mr. George Alexander around?
Who wants to know?
My name is Artie Crane, but I don't think it'll mean much to him. Just say I'd like to talk to him about a yellow Buick convertible.
You what?
Tell him I admire his taste in cars.
You're nuts. Mr. Alexander doesn't own any convertible.
That's not what the license bureau told me.
Maybe you better come in, Buster.
Yeah, maybe I better.
Sit down. I'll get Alexander.
Hey, that's a nifty-looking piano he's got there. Mind if I try it?
Just so you don't break it.
That's very pretty, mister. You like?
Yeah. What do you call it?
I've got those Gimme, Gimme Blues. It's a very original title. I'm a very original guy, Mr. Alexander. How so? Well, 99 guys out of 100 who know what I know would have spilled everything to the cops. But not you, huh? Mm-mm. Little Artie knows when to keep his mouth shut.
For instance?
Keep out of this, Vince. Go on, Crane. Well, for instance, last night I was coming home late and I saw a car bowl over some character who was crossing the street. Fortunately, I had enough presence of mind to copy down the license number. And you think this car belongs to me? Mm-hmm. You're wrong. Okay. I'm perfectly willing to leave it to Mike Waring. The Falcon? That's right. He's working for the daughter of the poor slob who got hit. He was around to see me this afternoon, wanted to know if I could help him. And you told him? Not a thing. I thought I could help you more. How much more? About $10,000 worth.
Why, you dirty little...
Let go.
Should I throw him out, George?
Calm yourself, Vince.
Don't be so free with your hands,
You shouldn't
mister.
blame him, Marty. Vince never liked blackmail. Well, that little pushing around is going to cost you another $5, Alexander. What? Take it easy, Vince. You think the money was coming out of your pocket. So now you want $15,000, eh, Artie? Otherwise, I go straight to Waring's and from there to the cops. Well, I wouldn't want you to make such a trip on my account. Then you better get it up. Okay, Artie. You leave it to me. I'll take care of you. And when I get through, I bet you don't complain.
Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. 2 hours have passed since Artie Crane made his little call on Mr. Alexander. Now we find Mike making a call of his own. Only his isn't nearly as successful.
So when you come right down to it, Mr. Waring, you've made no progress at all.
Well, I could give you a big song and dance, Ruth.
No, thanks. I'm in no mood for entertainment.
You see, the truth of the matter is I'm stymied. The only potential witness we had was this musician, Artie Crane.
And he couldn't tell you anything?
No, not a single solitary... Oh, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
That briefcase your father was carrying...
That won't help you. They found it clear across the street where it was knocked by the car.
Well, if it was knocked there by the... Say that again.
Why?
This Artie Crane character told me he realized that it wasn't some drunk sleeping it off when he noticed the briefcase under your father's arm.
What's wrong with that?
Hey, you just said it, Angel. The car sent that briefcase flying. If Crane saw it under your father's arm, it could only have been while your father was alive.
Then Crane was lying.
That he was.
Well, you think...
I think I ought to have another little talk with that boy. Oh. Let's see if we can get him up here.
He won't suspect anything?
Not if it's put to him the right way.
What are you telling him?
Now, don't you worry, Ruth. I'll ad-lib something.
Hello?
Hello, I'd like to speak to Artie Crane, please.
Who wants him?
Mike Waring.
Well, Artie isn't here.
This Pete Jordan?
No, Pete isn't here either.
Well, where is everybody?
Unless there's been a change in plans, you might try the morgue. Hello, you still there, mister?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the top right. Hey, wait a minute. Is this Sergeant Corbett?
Sure is, Mike.
All right, Corbett. Give it to me gently. Who did what to whom?
Well, whom is your friend Artie Crane. The what was a half-dozen slugs through his head. As far as the who is concerned, we got no idea. Have you, Mr. Waring?
Okay, I'm coming.
Hello, Pete.
Oh, hi, Mr. Waring.
Well, I drop around and redeem that rain check.
Rain check?
I asked for one the last time I was here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you heard about Artie.
Mm-hmm. That his piano?
Yeah. To think he'll never touch it again.
Just how good was he on it?
Oh, you can have the Duke and Count Basie. I'd have taken Artie any time.
You a musician, too?
Yeah, but I wasn't in his class. I used to sing a little.
Oh. Well, how about an audition?
What do you mean?
Well, you never can tell, Pete. I may want to sponsor you. So let's hear how well you do in the voice department. Who killed Artie?
Oh, look, you can't talk to me like that.
Come on, Pigeon, sing.
I did. Ouch. I wouldn't try that.
If your big brother was around.
Let me go.
Not before we have a solo. Now, who killed Artie?
How should I know?
You should if anyone would. Who had it in for him?
No one. Everybody liked him.
Uh-huh. So one of his admirers pumped 6 slugs into his face so even his own mother wouldn't recognize him. Incidentally, how did you? There wasn't a thing on the body.
Well, I found him here.
Might have been a visitor from Mars.
Yeah, but he had a flag tattooed on his shoulder.
Patriot, no less. Who was the hit-and-run driver who killed Davis?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do, Pete. Artie must have told you everything. He saw the car that killed Davis.
No, he didn't.
You know, you won't look so good singing without those dazzling white teeth. Well?
There's a fellow named Alexander.
Does this fellow have a first name?
George.
You mean Arthur tried to shake down George Alexander?
You know him?
Well enough to realize that Artie made a serious mistake trying it. Let's hope we all profit by his example.
That you, Vince?
Yeah.
How you make out?
Just look. All right, beautiful. Inside.
Stop that.
Inside.
Hello, Marcia.
You're not going to get away with this, Mr. Alexander.
I told you my friends called me George. You want to be my friend, no?
No.
You're fooling. Sit down, baby.
You can't keep me here.
You can't keep me here. You can't do this. You can't do that. Why don't you give that tongue a rest?
All right, that's enough, Vince. Marcia and me, we understand each other. Well, don't we, sweethearts?
What do you want?
I just want to make sure you didn't tell anybody about our little ride there. Get it, Vince?
What about Marcia?
What's the matter? Can a gentleman invite a lady up to his apartment? After all, we got you for a chaperone.
All right. Hold your horses, will you?
Hello, is George here? Oh, I see he is.
Wait a minute, Buster. Not so fast.
It's okay, Vince. This is the Falcon. He's an old friend of mine.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I beg your pardon. Am I interrupting something?
No. Marcia, meet my query.
How do you do?
Well, generally I do all right, but I see George does even better.
Cute kid, eh?
Yes, indeedy.
Well, if you gentlemen are through discussing me, I'll say good night.
Hold it, sister.
He's got her hypnotized.
Vince just thought maybe I want to tell her something. It's okay, Marcia. I'll give you a call later.
All right, George.
You wish you were in my shoes, eh, Mike?
Hardly, George. I wouldn't care to face a murder rap.
I'm afraid I don't understand you, Wary.
Well, it stems from the manslaughter charge.
Manslaughter?
Mm-hmm. For killing Ralph Davis with your car last night. You know, Mr. D.A. could tell this story very effectively. It's got a wonderful moral, how one crime leads to another. Now, the opening scene would show you driving along.
Get out.
Well, you might let me finish, George. It's got great dramatic possibilities.
You heard him. Get out.
Who's this little Sir Echo?
If you're not out of here by the time I count 3...
You mean you're not interested in how my little script ends?
No. And you keep up like this, Mike, and you won't be around for the end.
Dear Mr. Waring, but what happened after that?
That's all there was, Ruth.
You mean you know who killed my father and you let him go?
I mean, he let me go.
He bought you off.
No, wait a minute, Angel.
Sure, I was a fool not to see it before. But we'll see what the police think about...
Sit down.
Oh.
You listen to me, Ruth. I walked out on Alexander because there wasn't a thing I could do.
You know he ran over my father.
Yeah, sure I do, but where's our evidence? There isn't any way I could tie it to him. The only witness was murdered.
Well...
Well, what?
You know he murdered Arthur Crane.
Can you prove that?
Well, it stands to reason...
Look, Angel, you can build as good a case against several other people.
Who, for example?
Well, for example, you.
What?
Sure. You knew Artie Crane could identify the man who killed your father. And when he refused to give you any information, you murdered him.
That's the most ridiculous piece of...
Yes?
Mr. Waring?
That's right.
My name's Marcia West. I don't know if you remember me.
Oh, you underestimate your charms, Marcia. You're the kind of a girl my kind of man could never forget.
Well, I'd like to talk to you.
Well, what would be the point? I thought you were a close friend of Alexander's.
Well, I was in his car last night.
You what?
Yes, he was taking me home when he killed that man.
Where are you now?
At the place where I work. It's called the TikTok Club. When can I expect you?
Just open your door, Angel. I'm practically there now.
Come on, you creep. Snap into it. We haven't got all night. The show goes on in a few... Yeah, what do you want, mister?
Where's Marshal West's dressing room?
The first one on your left.
This one here?
Yeah, that's right. I don't keep her too long. She's on in 10 minutes. Come on, girls. Don't stand there.
Marsha? Marsha?
She ain't here, Waring.
What?
No, just stay like you are, Falcon. Lock the door, Vince.
All right. Where is she, George?
Where is Sue?
Marsha. She called me from here not more than 15 minutes ago.
You say it, Vince?
Was it that old hag with the mop?
And you boys ought to try television. That's a great act you've got there.
I'm glad you like it. What am I should tell you on the phone?
Who?
Don't be smart.
And I just wanted to show you that two could play that game.
What'd you tell you?
Enough.
You know, I wouldn't need much excuse to paste you one right now, Buster, so don't tempt me.
What do you say, Mike?
I say you boys aren't very smart. There are a dozen people out there.
And they all work for me.
So start talking, pal.
Why, you...
Careful, chum.
Now, why you want to knock him down for Vince? You only got to pick him up again.
That's all right, Alex. I'm in very good shape. I can keep this up all night.
Well, Sleeping Beauty, I didn't even have to kiss you to wake you up.
Huh?
Yeah, this isn't the Princess Palace. It's Bellevue Hospital.
No kidding.
Okay, Mike, who slugged you?
First, I want to know where you found me, Sergeant.
On West 8th Street.
How did I get down there?
I can tell you one thing. I don't think you made it on foot.
Someone must have given me a lift.
Oh?
A character named Vince, working at the behest of George Alexander.
What do they want to do that for?
Because Alexander was the one who drove the car that killed Ralph Davis last night.
Last night?
Well, isn't it Sunday?
Where have you been? Don't bother answering. I know.
All right. What day is it?
Monday.
Holy smoke. Where's Marcia?
Who?
Marcia West. She was in the car when Alexander killed Davis.
She tell you that?
Yes, and I wouldn't be surprised if she knew all about the Artie Crane killing, too.
Is that tied up with this?
Definitely. You see, Crane tried to blackmail Alexander, and
Not so fast. Can you prove that?
No, I can't hear Corbett. So let's go where I can.
Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. A half hour has passed since Mike Waring set out with Sergeant Corbett to try to tie the case together. Their destination, the apartment of George Alexander.
You're a pretty sick man, Waring. You don't know what you're saying.
No, it's no use, George. We've got all the evidence we need. Right, Sergeant?
Right.
So why don't I hear from the district attorney?
You will, shortly.
You're still bluffing, Mike. Admit it.
All right, then how do I know you paid off to Artie Crane?
You know?
Yes, and I can prove it.
How about that, Mr. Alexander?
Well, you see, it's like this, Sergeant. It was no shakedown. I gave Artie the money.
Oh. Because you were impressed by his musical talents and wanted to see him further his career?
Why, Mike, you take the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, no.
Something wrong?
You don't think the DA will buy that?
Why not? If it's okay for me to help young ladies interested in musical careers, why not young men?
Sounds logical.
Oh, come on, Corbett, be smart. You don't believe that?
I didn't say I did. I just said it sounded logical.
That's all I ask.
Where's Vince?
What?
I want to talk to him.
You're going to have a long wait. Vince leave town Friday night.
Friday?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I suppose that was his double who bounced me around backstage at the TikTok Club on Saturday.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. Next you'll say you never heard of a girl named Marcia West.
Of course I have. Oh, sweetheart.
You call me, George?
Marcia.
Is this the girl you mean?
All right, never mind the act, George. Listen, Marcia. This is Sergeant Corbett. I want you to tell him everything.
Everything?
Yes, beginning with your call to me on Saturday night.
My call to you?
Don't you remember?
I don't see how I could be expected to, Mr. Waring, seeing this is the first time we've met.
What?
But it's been a real pleasure. Let's do it again sometime.
You know, Mike, maybe we ought to go back to the hospital. It's not a bad place. They got a couple of good-looking nurses there.
Okay, so I'm nuts, Sergeant. But just humor me a couple of minutes more.
I still don't see what you're going to accomplish with Pete Jordan.
I tell you, he knows that Artie Crane went to see Alexander.
That still don't prove anything. Crane could have gone to see Alexander for a million reasons.
Well, suppose Pete's willing to swear that he...
Yeah?
Well, if it isn't the gay troubadour. Hello, Pete, remember me?
Now, look, Waring, I'm busy.
Yeah, sure you are. This won't take much of your time. Didn't Artie Crane tell you he saw the car that killed Ralph Davis in that accident?
Well,
didn't he?
Yeah.
Get your coat, Jordan. We're going downtown.
Now, don't rush him, Sergeant. You might break the spell. As long as Pete's in the mood for singing, maybe he'll be willing to croon you something else.
I told you everything I know.
Not quite. There's one song you forgot. The one that goes, I killed my best friend and am I sorry?
What are you talking about?
The murder of Artie Crane. You know enough about that to give us a complete chorus. So start singing, Pigeon. Well, girls, that's the whole story. Alexander goes up for manslaughter and Pete Jordan for murder. Any questions?
I have one, Mike. Oh, so have I.
I think Marcia was first, Ruth. All right, go on, Marcia.
Well, first, I think I owe you an explanation.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Alexander made me say I didn't know you. He and Vince caught me phoning you that night.
Yes, I figured as much.
I was afraid of what he might do, not only to me, but to you.
Well.
I thought she had a question to ask. Oh, well, all I wanted to know is what made you suspect Pete Jordan.
Very simple thing, Angel. As you recall, when the police found Artie, there was nothing on him.
So?
So the question arises, Ruth, what happened to the hush money Alexander paid him?
I don't get it.
Well, I pulled one bluff on Alexander that worked. The only reason he admitted giving money to Artie was that he thought I could prove he did.
And you couldn't?
No, because there was no money found on the body. And it stood to reason that Alexander and Vince didn't remove it. Otherwise, they would have known I was bluffing. So I figured maybe this was just a plain, everyday murder for money.
And once you realized that, it was just a matter of picking out the only party who had the opportunity.
That's right. And that gave me Pete Jordan. But I'll tell you one thing this business taught me.
What?
Never take a case where two beautiful women are involved. Makes for complications.
How so?
Well, it's too much of a good thing. You know the old saying, two's company, three's a crowd.
He's got a point there, Ruth. He certainly has.
No, don't fight. I'm sure we can settle this peaceably.
I'm sure we can.
That's the spirit. Now, how are we going to work it?
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Mr. Waring.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Phyllis. Oh, I'm glad you called. Now, you'll have to give me a rain check, Angel. I'm all tied up. But that's only temporary. Some efficiency expert is dropping around to demonstrate that if I plan my work properly, I'll have time to kill.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the puzzling pin-up. Now, the case of the puzzling pin-up.
It's Sunday afternoon in New York, and a young man named Charles Sylvester Brayton II breaks all records dashing up the steps of a small rooming house in New York's West Side. And when he gets to the top floor, he begins hammering on the door of room 413.
Come on, Pat. Open up.
Who is it?
You know who it is. Now open up.
Go away, Charles.
No, you can't send me away like this. I've got to talk to you.
All right, just a second.
Lock it.
No, it's all right. Nobody will disturb us.
I said lock it.
Look, Charles, you're not well.
Don't you believe it for a second. Don't you see, Pat? It was just a scheme to keep us apart. But I fooled them.
Charles, please don't lock that door.
What's the matter, Pat? Don't you trust me either?
Of course I do. It's just that I don't like to see you so upset. Look, I've got an idea.
What are you doing with that phone?
I was just going to call your father.
Put it down.
But, Charles...
Put it down. So you're working with them, too?
No, I'm not.
Then prove it. Marry me.
You're insane.
What did you say?
Nothing, Charles.
You're lying. You were going to say I was insane.
I wasn't, I swear.
I'll give you one last chance. I've got a car downstairs. Will you come with me?
Look, Charles.
Answer me.
But, darling...
All right, Pat. You had your opportunity.
What are you doing with that gun?
I gave you your chance, Pat. You'll have to admit that.
Darling, now, listen to me. I've changed my mind.
How do I know that you won't change it again?
Charles, you can't do this. They'll hang you.
No, they won't. You see, I'll be dead.
No.
Yes, you don't think I'd let you go without me.
Charles, please.
Don't be afraid, Pat. I'll be right by your side. Goodbye, darling.
No.
I was down in the basement fixing the boiler when I heard the shots, Mr. Shelley, so right away I got on the phone and called your newspaper.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else here in Driscoll?
Oh, no, wasn't nobody else home.
What about the cops?
Well, I ain't notified them yet, you know.
That was smart, Driscoll. We'll take care of you. All right, where do we go now?
It's this room here.
Okay, open the door. Well, what are you waiting for?
Your editor, Mr. Wingate, said you'd have a little present for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll give you 50 when we get inside.
But Mr. Wingate promised me 100.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, thanks.
Now, where's your passkey? Shut that door. What's the girl's name?
Patricia Brooks.
You know the guy?
No.
Mm-hmm. Pull up the shade. I want to get a good look at his puss. Holy smoke.
What's the matter, Mr. Shelley?
Well, you know who this is? Charles Sylvester Braden II.
Who?
Skip it. Hand me some flash bulbs. They're in that case by your feet.
Oh, okay.
You know, something tells me these shots are going to be every bit as sensational as Mr. Braden's.
Tom?
Hi, Mr. Wingate.
Oh, hello, Shelley. I'm sorry that tip didn't pay off. The way the janitor spoke on the phone, I thought we had something.
Huh? What are you talking about, boss?
The yarn I sent you out on. Whole story just came over the ticker. Cops were just there. Too bad there was nothing to it.
Nothing to it? Do you realize...
Oh, look, Shelley. Maybe in the hick town you come from, a pretty girl committing suicide is big news. But in New York, it happens every day in the week.
Yeah, but what about...
Well, what about what?
Well, what did the cops find?
The same thing you did. Dead girl named Pat Brooks holding a gun in her hand.
Nothing else?
What are you getting at? Should there have been anything else?
No, of course not.
Where are your pictures?
Pictures?
That's what I sent you there for, remember? Where are they?
They ain't. You see, I forgot to take along film.
You what?
Yeah, I'm sorry, boss. I feel like an awful jerk.
Okay, forget it. At least there was no harm done. But it'll teach you to be more careful in the future.
Oh, yeah. I learned my lesson, Mr. Wingate. I bet I'll pick up plenty from an experience like this.
Yes?
I'd like to see Mr. Charles Braden Sr., please.
I'm afraid that's impossible. Mr. Braden's only son died yesterday in an automobile accident.
Yes, I know. I read all about it, but I still think he'll see me. Tell him it's Walter Shelley of the Gazette.
Who is it, Laura?
It's me, Braden. I'm the guy you spoke to on the phone this morning.
Yes. Won't you come in, sir?
Thanks.
This is the young man I've been telling you about, Laura.
Yes, so I gather.
Miss Allen is my secretary, Mr. Shelley.
Good enough.
Well, now, suppose we get down to business. You told me you had some pictures I might be interested in.
That's right.
May I see them, please?
Sure. Here they are.
Very interesting.
Like a drink, Mr. Shelley?
Well, thanks, dollface. Well, here's to what we all want.
I'll join you in that, sir.
Had time to look at those pictures yet, Mr. Braden?
Yes, indeed.
Notice anything peculiar about them?
I presume you mean that one of the bodies is that of my son, Charles.
Yeah, and he's holding a gun. So? So when I heard that the cops only found one stiff, I immediately jumped to the conclusion that you must have taken care of the other by bribing the janitor of the building.
But why should I do that?
Now, look, let's stop kidding each other, Braden. A guy with your name couldn't stand the disgrace. You wouldn't want to go through life known as the father of a murderer.
There's something in what you say, Mr. Shelley. How much do you want?
$10,000 for the set of pictures you've got in your hand.
And how much for the negatives?
Negatives?
Oh, come. You mustn't take me for a child, Mr. Shelley. I'm aware of the elementals of photography. Now, where are those negatives?
Cut it out, Braden. You're choking.
Where are they?
Give me a chance.
All right.
Yeah, you could have killed me then.
The negatives, please.
Yeah, sure. I got them right here in my pocket.
Mr. Braden!
I'd advise you to put away that gun, sir.
You're not as smart as you think.
Apparently not.
Wouldn't I be a chump to keep those negatives on me? Oh, no. You're going to pay for them, mister. And pay through the nose.
Hello?
I'd like to speak to Mike Waring, please.
Who's calling?
Walter Shelley.
Who?
Walter Shelley. I'm a reporter on the Gazette.
What can I do for you?
You mean, what can I do for you? I understand you're one of the best private dicks in New York.
Where do you understand that from?
Oh, the usual reliable sources. Don't they call you the Falcon?
Only when they can't think of anything worse.
Look, will you be home for the next half hour?
Why?
Well, I'd like to come around and drop a fortune in your lap.
Why?
Well, let's just say it's only a few weeks before Christmas, and I like to play Santa Claus nice and early. I'll be seeing you, Waring.
Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. 15 minutes have passed since Walter Shelley called Mike Waring with a promise to drop a fortune in his lap. And now we find Mr. Shelley as good as his word.
Yes?
You Waring?
That's right.
I'm Walter Shelley.
Oh, you're ahead of schedule. Come on in.
Thanks.
You said something on the phone about dropping a fortune in my lap.
Uh-huh, and I never lied. Catch.
What's this?
Just what I promised. In that envelope are pictures worth $500,000.
What makes them so valuable?
The pose.
Oh.
You interested?
Go on.
This party will pay off plenty, Waring. I know I've already seen them. We've got all the angles covered.
We?
Got a partner. Of course, that means we'll have to split 3 ways, but it's worth it. Now, this partner of mine has a swell in, see? What we need is someone to handle the detail work. Tried another guy, but he couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm. What made you come to me with a swindle like this?
Well, look, you don't have to take that tone with me, Waring.
Oh, I don't? All right, now get up.
Hey, what's going on in here, Mr. Waring? I was cleaning the hall and I heard a fuss.
Oh, it's nothing serious, George. Will you get rid of this for me?
Huh?
Character on the floor. Throw him out.
Oh. Come on, buddy. Get up. Come on, pal. I have... Mr. Waring.
Yeah?
I think there's something the matter with him.
I know. He ran into my fist.
No. I mean, I can't feel his heartbeat.
You what?
Yeah. I think you killed him.
All right, Waring, let's have the truth now. And don't give me any more stuff about pictures, because we didn't find any.
You didn't?
No. Why'd you kill Shelley?
I tell you, I didn't kill him, Lieutenant.
You admit you slugged him.
Look, Webster, I may brag now and then, but I'm still no Joe Louis. What do the autopsy reports say?
Hasn't come in yet.
Well, what are they waiting for?
Hey, Lieutenant, open up, will you?
What do you want, Sergeant?
There's a Mr. Wingate to see Waring.
Wingate?
Well, tell him to beat it. Waring isn't having any visitors.
I've got a court order here, Lieutenant. Maybe you'd like to look at it.
Yeah, let's see that. There you are. Seems to be all right. Open it up, Sergeant. You can have 5 minutes, no more.
Fair enough. Hello, Waring.
Well, who are you?
Out at the Wingate.
Still means nothing.
I hold down the slot in the Evening Gazette. Shelley worked for me until he came to me this morning with an idea how he could make some easy dough.
Wait a minute. You must be the guy he told me he'd talked to before he came to see me.
That's right. I threw him out.
Well, what are you doing here?
Well, when the story came over the ticker, I thought there might be something I could do for you.
Why should you?
I want this story for my paper, exclusively. And I'm willing to pay for it.
Okay, Wingate. You got yourself a deal. Do you know what was on those pictures of Shelley's?
No.
Did he mention any names?
Not a one.
Well, it doesn't matter. Here are my keys. The superintendent of my building is a character named George Kennedy. Check with him and see what he did with the envelope. And bring it back to me.
Haven't the police got it?
No, the lieutenant told me they didn't find a thing. It may have been brushed aside in all the excitement.
Well, it doesn't sound like much to go on, but keep your fingers crossed, kiddo. I'll do what I can.
Okay, Waring, on your feet.
Oh, you back again, Lieutenant?
Yeah, get your things and get out.
How come I'm being released?
The autopsy on Shelley clears you.
What was it, heart attack?
No. Poison. He got it in the drink about 6 hours before he came to your place.
Well, tough luck, Lieutenant. I know how you must feel. Can I use your phone?
Sure. There's a payphone right over there.
Thanks, Webster. Maybe I can do as much for you sometime.
On Waring.
Yeah?
Don't use any slugs.
That you, George?
Oh, hi, Mr. Waring.
Say, is Mr. Wingate there?
Oh, sure. You want to talk to him?
No, I'll see him later. What did you do with the pictures?
We didn't find him.
Well, they can't have disappeared. They were on my desk before I slugged Shelley.
We ain't there now. We've practically taken the place apart.
All right, stop wrecking the joint. I'll be right over.
That's no use, Mike. We've looked in the desk already.
Yeah, he's right, Mr. Waring. We went over everything with a fine-tooth comb.
Well, I don't get it. Now, George, you're sure when the police removed Shelley's body, they didn't take anything?
I'm positive. I was here every minute of the time.
Yeah, we might as well give up, Mike.
No, wait a second, Wingate. Shelley was standing right where you are when he tossed that envelope in my lap. When I got up to throw him out, it must have fallen to the floor.
Well, I don't see what difference that makes.
Well, I could have kicked it over there, and then that... Hey, wait a minute. What's that under the radiator? Whatever you are, George, you're certainly no detective.
Is that the envelope?
Must be.
Well, let's get a glimpse of $500,000 worth of pictures.
Huh. We was robbed.
What's the trouble?
Well, look. It's a picture of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Brooklyn Dodgers?
Yeah, now you tell me who would pay $500,000 for a still shot of that group when you could go see them in action for $1.25.
You hear that, Mike? 3 a.m.
I don't care. I'm not leaving until I make head or tail of these pictures. What makes them worth all that money, Wingate?
Shelley must have been crazy.
Well, then why was he murdered? Come in.
I hate to disturb you, gentlemen, but I'm looking for Mike Waring.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Are you Mr. Waring?
What's your name?
My friends call me Laura Allen.
Well, I bet you've got a million of them, Angel. So I can't understand why you should be looking for new ones at this hour.
I'm looking for something else, Mr. Waring. What do you want for them?
What do I want for what?
The pictures.
What pictures?
Don't give me that. Shelley had them before he died. He hasn't got them now, so who does that leave?
Me?
Yes. What's your price?
I suppose I said I didn't care to do business.
It won't do you any good. If you see what I mean.
Mike.
Don't worry, Wingate. I saw it. Take a blind man to miss a cannon that size. Look, would you mind pointing it elsewhere, Laura?
What's the matter, Mr. Waring? Does it make you nervous?
Yeah, I don't know what's come over me these past few days, but I can't seem to keep the thing on my stomach, particularly gun.
You let go.
Come on, Angel, drop it.
Oh.
That's... Get it, Wingate.
Okay, it's got.
Well, now what are you going to do with me?
Nothing. You can leave whenever you like, Angel.
You mean you're letting me go?
Sure, I'm a sport. I always throw the little ones back.
Just what are you fishing for, Mr. Waring?
The big one.
Well, I wouldn't if I were you. You know, some big fish are dangerous. And take it from me, this one's a man killer. Good night, Angel.
Shouldn't let her get away, Mike.
Why not? That little lady wasn't going to tell us anything, except what she wanted to.
Yeah, but remember what Shelley said about a partner.
You think that girl...
Well, don't you?
You know something, Wingate? You're right.
Well?
Yeah, she's already gone down the elevator.
Hello, Laura.
Mr. Braden.
That's right.
What are you doing in my apartment?
My dear girl, I think the answer's fairly obvious. I was waiting for you.
And I told you that if I had anything to report, I'd let you know.
Well, you can hardly blame me for being anxious, Laura. Now, where are the pictures?
I didn't get them.
You know, my dear, I find that very difficult to believe. You're such a very determined young lady.
Well, I ran into a very determined young man.
And yet Mr. Waring let you get away,
Yes, and don't ask me why, because I don't know.
You must be tired, my dear.
You're quite right, Mr. Braden. I am tired. I'm tired of trying to protect your precious name. Why don't you pay off and let it go at that?
I don't like to hear you talk that way, Laura. But knowing you as I do, I'm sure you'll never let this little conversation go any farther.
Hello?
Is that you, Waring?
Uh-huh.
This is Laura.
Who?
Laura Allen, you remember?
Oh, sure.
Now, listen, Waring, there's something I've got to tell you.
Where do you live?
At the Rainey Apartments. But before you come, I want you to know that I killed Walter Shelley.
Oh, you admit it?
Well, if you want to be convinced... Oh,
Hello, Laura. Laura! And that's all I know, Wingate. Right after I heard the shot, I grabbed a cab and started over here. Then I remembered my promise to you, so I detoured over to your office to pick you up.
Oh, I appreciate it, Waring. Hey, what floor do we get off on?
Right here, the third.
Okay. Must be down this way.
Here it is. Laura Allen. Uh-oh.
Unlocked?
Yeah.
So, she did commit suicide after all.
It seems so. Hey, what do you make of this?
Silver cigarette case.
Silver nothing. This is platinum.
Huh?
Yeah, they don't hand these out on push carts. And here, look at the engraving.
Can you make it out?
Yeah, it's a Laura Allen from the tyrant Charles Braden Sr.
Charles Braden Sr.? Hey, this girl moved in the big leagues.
Yeah, so right. And if she was in Braden's employ, then he's the boy who's interested in the pictures, and she was working hand in glove with Shelley.
Yeah, but why would Braden want a picture of the Brooklyn Dodgers?
He didn't. The pictures we found must have been phony. Say, wait a minute. Wasn't his son in some sort of a mess recently?
Well, he got killed in an automobile accident.
Oh, that's too pat. Braden's hiding something.
Who are you calling?
The police.
Well, make it snappy. I want to phone my paper.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's the trouble?
I just thought of something. I heard the shot that killed Laura over the phone.
So?
Well, if she died instantly, who hung this receiver back on the hook?
Yeah, but that means...
Yeah, go on, say it, Wingate. She was murdered.
But you said she talked to suicide.
Someone could have forced her to by holding a gun in her back.
Who?
That's what I intend to find out. Now, look, I want you to get a fingerprint expert up here.
What for?
The killer made one blunder when he put the receiver back on the hook. Isn't it possible he made another?
I don't follow you.
Maybe he left his prints on the instrument. Got any idea where we can find an expert at this time of night?
Well, we got one down the paper.
Swell. Get him, Wingate.
Well, I'll meet you later.
Make it Mr. Braden's. Something tells me he'll probably be very interested in the results. Mr. Braden?
Yes.
My name is Waring.
Oh, come in, won't you?
Thank you.
You were a friend of Walter Shelley's, I believe.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Strange that he entrusted his most precious possessions to you.
I don't think I understand you, Mr. Braden.
I'm referring to the pictures, Mr. Waring.
Oh, that?
Yes, that. May I trouble you for them? And the negatives, of course.
What's in it for me?
Well, I could promise you any number of things.
Yes, but they'd be just that, promises.
You see my point.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to draw me a diagram.
No. I had only to draw a gun.
All right, put that thing away, Braden. You're forgetting something.
I can't imagine what.
What's going to happen when the police discover you killed Shelley and Laura?
Shelley and Laura? I hardly think there's any danger of that.
Well, maybe I can prove you're wrong.
I beg your pardon?
I think that call is for me, may I?
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello? Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, how'd you make out, Wingate? Did they finish checking those fingerprints?
Yes, but there wasn't a single print on it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What's the matter with you, Mike? Can't you hear me?
Didn't miss a word. Now come up here and bring that report with you.
Well, you look pleased.
Yes, I am. Whose fingerprints do you suppose they found on Laura's telephone?
Nobody's.
What?
You'll forgive me, sir, but I'm afraid I've been guilty of eavesdropping.
Oh, you'll never hear anything nice about yourself that way.
Perhaps not. But then, Mr. Waring, I'm not a very nice person. I think you're going to find that out.
to the adventures of the Falcon. 2 minutes ago, Charles Braden Sr. told Mike that he wasn't, quote, a very nice person, unquote. And judging by the gun he keeps trained on Mike, Mr. Braden believes in telling the truth.
Oh, really, Mr. Waring, you don't know how this pains me.
Well, I'd never guess it, Braden. You certainly hide your grief well.
And you, sir, your fears.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. I don't believe you're going to shoot.
Tell me, Mr. Waring, what is your purpose in glancing at that window every 5 seconds? Frankly, I find it very distracting.
That was my purpose. All right, Wingate, grab him. Nice work, Wingate. Now give me the gun.
Okay. Here you are.
Now phone police headquarters.
No. My paper comes first.
Well, any way you like, but don't forget the cops.
I don't suppose there'd be much point in appealing to your better nature.
Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Wingate?
No, I'm just an innocent bystander, Waring. You better leave me out of this.
Well, that's impossible, friend. You've got a lot to say.
Oh, you mean because I saved your life?
No, because you killed Shelley and Laura.
What are you babbling about?
Murder, Wingate. I'm just wondering who's going to cover your execution for the Gazette.
Gee, I don't get it, Mr. Waring. You mean Mr. Wingate actually killed Shelley and the girl?
Yes, actually, George.
Yeah, but why?
Those pictures.
The ones we found in your apartment.
No. The ones the police found in Wingate's apartment. He got them from my place before he even called you. Then he planted those phony shots and waited for me to make my great discovery.
Yeah, well, why did he do that?
Because he knew I wouldn't stop looking until I found a set of pictures. So he made things easy for me.
Well, I still don't understand why he killed Shelley.
He was Shelley's partner.
Wingate?
Mm-hmm. He was in from page 1, but he got greedy and wanted the whole pie. So he poisoned Shelley and waited for the pictures to drop in his lap.
And instead they dropped in yours.
Well, that he couldn't figure on. But he did okay as it was.
Well, why did he kill Laura?
Well, he had good reason for that. First, he forced her to confess to Shelley's murder.
Oh, he thought that would leave him in the clear.
Mm-hmm. If she committed suicide, then the case was closed, and he could go ahead and blackmail Braden safely.
Well, how did you know he was the killer?
Remember I told you I sent him to check the fingerprints on Laura Allen's phone?
Yeah, and he said there weren't any.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what gave him away.
Well, I don't see why. Ain't it possible the killer wiped off his own prints?
Yeah, sure. But what happened to mine? I handled the phone after the murder when I was going to call the police.
Oh.
Now, does that answer all your questions?
Well, all but one.
What's that?
Look, Mr. Waring, what was on those pictures anyway, huh?
Ah, you'll never know, George.
Oh, come on. Break down, Mr. Waring. Must have been pretty hot stuff, huh?
Oh, yes, indeed, they were. Some of the hottest shots I'd ever seen. Why, just to handle them would blister your hands.
Yeah? What were they, huh?
Well, they were 8x10 blow-ups of the Chicago fire. Good night, George.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Cornelia. I'm glad you called, but I'll have to take a rain check, Angel. Tonight I'm tied up with a character who tried to pull off a legal swindle. He found a loophole in the law, but we found a bullet hole in him. This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon calls. The Case of the Stooges' Errand. It's Sunday afternoon in New York, and tall, slender Rog Saunders has just come out of his apartment building, accompanied by his squat, cigar-chewing companion, chauffeur, bodyguard, and canasta partner, Jocko Quinn. As they approach Saunders' new foreign-made racing job, they see a man walking around the car, studying it, appreciative.
Hey, boss, Macy.
So I see, Jocko. So I see. Well, Macy, like it?
Oh, hello, boys. Yeah, Saunders. Beautiful automobile. Wish I could afford one like it, especially if I already had two other cars.
What's on your mind, Macy? What are you doing here?
You know the answer to both those questions, Saunders.
It couldn't be money by any chance.
On the nose. A genius. Not that I like to be mercenary, understand, but if my money is going to be buying in fancy automobiles, it ought to be buying them for me.
You know I don't like to be dunned.
Dunned, he says. Look, pal, You borrowed the insignificant sum of only 20,000 berries from yours truly, a mere nothing. And it was only 8 months ago, practically yesterday, and you were going to pay me back in 3 weeks. You're only 7 months late. Done.
You'll get your money.
I've heard that song before. I used to believe it. But you've been living high. When I hear you bought yourself another jalopy, imported yet, I figure this rate's a look-see and conversation about my Mazuma.
Shall I hand him the old scramble,
Let
boys?
go of
No,
me.
Jacko, no. He's entitled to his money. He wants to be small about it.
Small, he says. 8 months.
You're worried because I'm a little fast with a buck. You think I'm tossing the roll.
Look, I didn't ask you any questions when you needed the dough. I figured you were a pal. You said you were going to make some investments, okay. But now, what do you expect me to think?
I have made investments, Macy. I have. Very good investments. All I'm blowing is the velvet. Now, tell me something. You know fighters. What do you think of Pepper Dugan?
Good punch. I don't know how he is on distance. He seemed to tire the last time.
Tire? Coaster, that's all. Had the decision wrapped up with the ace, so he took 9 and 10 easy.
You know all about it?
I ought to. I own the controlling interest in Dugan.
Oh?
That's where your 20 is, Macy. That's what Dugan cost me 8 months ago, 20 grand. And since then, he's won 3 fights. Big ones. He's worth double the 20 now, at least.
Yeah, could be. So you've seen a profit. Now let me see my 20.
I'll do better, Macy. I'll give you a choice. Cash or what you lent me, plus a 5 for Dugan.
How's that?
I'm offering you Dugan's contract for the 20 I owe you, plus 5 grand more. That's all I'm asking. A profit of 5 G's. You said yourself Dugan is worth plenty, over 25 now.
Yeah, but then why should
you... did me a favor. I'm doing you one. That's all.
I don't know.
Well, it's up to you. Take it or leave it. You want cash, I'll pay you cash. You want Dugan? Just give me back my notes and a check for the balance.
I'll think it over.
You do that, Macy. You just do that.
That's it, Dugan. Now throw your right. No, doggone it, the right. Harry, you throw a right. This time, Dugan, when he does, counter with your right. Now, Harry. No, Dugan. All right, boys, hold it. Will you hold it? Come here, Dugan.
Sorry, Mr. Mason.
What's the matter with you? Harry comes through with his right and you just stand there.
It's his hand. It's hurting again.
What hand?
My right hand. Didn't Mr. Saunders tell you?
Tell me what?
Why, I busted my hand in the 8th of the Gasha fight, you butt.
So that's why you slowed down.
Sure. It's a bad break. Doc doesn't know if it'll ever heal right.
And Saunders was doing me a favor unloading you. Oh, that's just great, that is.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Macy. You think Mr. Saunders gypped you intentionally?
Are you kidding?
I don't know. I always trusted him. He talks so honest.
Sure, he's got a great line.
I don't believe he's a crook. He was always good to me.
He gave you the heave-ho as soon as you slipped a card,
Well,
didn't
he told me he was getting out of the fight game.
Because you busted your mitt.
Could be, but I hope you're wrong, Mr. Macy. I sure hope you're wrong.
Look, kid, I hate to destroy your faith in mankind.
It's not my faith I'm worried about, Mr. Macy. It's my 15 grand.
Your what?
Mr. Saunders held back part of my cut of the gates in the last couple of fights. Said he was going to invest it for me.
Oh, fine.
Mr. Macy.
Yeah, Dugan?
That lawyer you're going to see, do you figure he could take on an extra client?
Hello?
Hello, does Michael Waring live here?
I do.
Oh, you're, My name's Ralph Macy. I need a detective. My lawyer suggested you.
Well, what's your lawyer's name?
George Hollis. What?
Well, if it's a good case, he rates a box of cigars come Christmas.
I just want you to find a man for me.
Well, what did he take, your money or your woman?
How do you know it's either?
Usually is, especially with a lawyer involved.
He gypped me out of $25,000, and another fellow out of $15,000.
Gypped and skipped, huh?
That's right. And my lawyer tried to reach Saunders. That's the fellow, Rod Saunders. Tried to reach him at his hotel, but he's gone. No forwarding address, just a back bill for over 2 months.
He doesn't miss a trick.
You find him for me?
At $50 a day in expenses, I'll try.
They say the Falcon never fails.
Who says?
Well, do you?
Well, let's just say I never admit failure. All right, Macy, what can you tell me about Saunders?
Yes?
Are you Ivy Gray?
That's right.
Well, they told me Saunders has expensive taste. I see what they mean.
What are you talking about?
You and Roger Saunders. I understand you were good friends.
Were. We still are.
Oh. Well, then maybe you can tell me where to find him.
Maybe I can. What do you want to see him about?
About 10 minutes.
What is it, Ivy? Someone for me?
Yes. He didn't give his name.
Oh, no, don't tell me you're Saunders.
Why not? Isn't that who you wanted?
But it's too simple. I've just started looking.
Looking? For what?
For you. In the first place, I tried.
Who are you? Why are you looking for me?
My name's Mike Waring. Ralph Macy hired me to locate you.
Hired you? You a detective?
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a minute. Waring. You're not the Falcon.
For my mistake, I thought I was.
Macy could have saved himself the trouble and expense of hiring you, Waring. Why didn't he call Ivy himself?
Probably didn't think she'd talk. He thought you were hiding.
Why should I hide?
Well, you did check out of your hotel suddenly.
To prevent their throwing me out. I was what is known as in arrears. But I'm not hiding.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I've moved to the Grafton Apartments. Macy can find me there if he likes, but, just what does he want?
His money back. He says you gypped him.
What? I did him a favor.
Well, he doesn't see it that way.
Well, if he wants money, he'll have to get in line.
Yeah, so I gather.
And, you might tell him the line's not going anywhere.
What's that?
Can't collect what I don't have.
Well, you have 3 cars. A summer estate in Maine, 50 suits of clothes.
Who's been taking inventory?
Macy's lawyer.
Oh. Well, tell him to look a little closer, and he'll find none of it belongs to me. It's all in Jocko's name.
Who's Jocko?
Jocko Quinn, friend of mine. And Jocko owes nobody. So you see, Waring, I'm not in hiding. Nobody can touch me legally, because I have nothing to touch.
Yes, I see, Saunders. But when your creditors hear about it, I have an idea they're liable to touch you, and in a way you won't like.
Come in. That you, Dugan?
Yeah, Mr. Macy, I just come from the doctor.
I hope he had good news for you. You'll need it.
Huh?
I got a report from Waring. He located Saunders.
Oh, good.
Good, he says. Saunders has pulled a legal cutie. Handed all his marbles to Jocko.
I don't get you.
You don't get anything, pal. Neither do I. It's hocus pocus with our greenbacks. There's nothing we can do.
Wait a minute. Take it slow, will you?
Look, it goes like this. Saunders has turned all his cash into merchandise. Clothes, cars, houses, whatnot. And he mortgages the whole package to Jocko.
I still don't get it.
The stuff is in Jocko's name. Legally, we can't touch it. But Jocko is just Saunders' stooge. So Saunders has full use of the whole works, and we're out in the cold.
Can he do a thing like that?
He's done it.
That's just great. That's all I need. You know what the doc said?
Your hand still isn't right.
I can't fight for at least a year.
Oh, no.
That's what he said. That means no dough coming in. Now I gotta collect from Saunders. That's all I gotta.
So do I, but the question is how.
If that lawyer of yours is no help, I'll just have to help myself. If I could only get Saunders sometime when Jocko isn't around. After all, I still got one good hand.
Yeah, Dugan. You've also got a very good point there. I hope something comes of it.
Let's pause for a moment. Les Damon returns as the Falcon right after these messages.
To find out more about old-time radio, old-time video, and the pleasures of listening to audiobooks, visit the Audiobook Club website, www.audiobookclub.com, where you can get 4 audiobooks for just 1 penny.
MediaBay.com. And now we'll return to Les Damon as the Falcon in the case of the Stooges' Errand.
A few days have passed since Macy and Dugan decided they weren't going to get a legal technicality to stand between them and collecting the money Rog Saunders owed them. They're also not going to let Saunders' stooge, Jocko Quinn, stand between them and the money. But Jocko knows none of this as he enters Saunders' apartment, where he's met by a white-faced Ivy Gray.
Jocko, where have you been?
Just down to get some cigarettes from Mr. Saunders. Why?
Was anyone with him when you left?
No.
Was he expecting anyone?
Only you.
You're sure?
What is this? Where is Saunders? Why doesn't he...
He's in the other room.
Well, why the questions?
Look for yourself.
Huh?
Go ahead. Right in there.
Okay. Mr. Saunders, I'm back. Hey, what's the matter with him?
He's dead. That's what's the matter with him.
Hello?
Is that the Falcon?
Yes, this is the Falcon speaking.
Mason again, Waring.
Oh, have you lost Saunders again?
In a way.
Well, I thought last time was a little too easy to be true.
I know where he is, Waring. It's not that.
Oh, well, keep it up. You're making great sense.
He's dead.
Oh. Well, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Murdered.
Am I supposed to register surprise or sympathy?
Sympathy.
For a guy who gypped his friends?
For me, the police think I did it.
Well, did you?
No.
Why not?
I've been told it's against the law.
Oh, and you never break the law.
Well, I parked overtime once, but I paid my fine.
Okay, you're a model citizen. What do you want me to do about it?
Convince the police.
It'll take more than a character reference.
That's why I'm calling on you. You can find the real killer.
Can I?
The Falcon never fails.
You dreamer, you.
This is one dream that better come true, Waring. All that depends on it is my life.
Hello, Sergeant Corbett.
Well, goody. It's Mike Waring. Did you come down to headquarters to see your client, Waring?
No, of course not, Corbett. I came down to see you.
He loves me.
To know you is to love you.
How did we get into this? What do you want, Waring?
What have you got on the Saunders killing?
He's dead.
Well, thanks so much.
His girl found the body.
Ivy Gray?
Yeah.
What's this? List of things you found on the body?
Yeah, just the usual.
Handkerchief, key, package of cigarettes, matches, coins. Any fingerprints in the apartment?
His own, the girl's, and Jocko Quinn's, guy who works for him.
So right away you suspect Macy?
Macy had a beef. Claims Saunders gypped him.
If you suspect everyone whom Saunders gypped...
We do.
Then Macy doesn't head the list?
No.
You brought him down here?
Just for questioning, we let him go.
Oh, that's too bad.
Why?
Since he's my client, I'd like to feel sure he's innocent. And nothing could give me greater confidence along that line than your thinking he's guilty. How's it going, Dugan?
Do I know you?
I know you. I've seen you in the ring.
Oh.
This what you train on? Irish, straight?
Are you going to give me a temperance lecture?
No, it's a little out of my line.
Then go away.
Macy tells me Saunders owed you $15,000. Says you were sore when it looked like you might not get it back.
Oh, Macy says, does he? Macy says. I tell you, he talks too much. I'll fix Macy so he doesn't talk so much.
Like you fixed Saunders?
Huh? A wise guy, eh? Maybe you want something too. No.
You don't do so good with a busted mitt and a stomach full of fog juice, Dugan. Come on, I'll help you up.
Oh, my head.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, my head.
What's this in your pocket?
What do you mean?
I think I'd better keep this until you come out of dreamland.
Hey, give me that,
You've had too many shots of alcohol to risk letting you take any shots with a gun. Now, come on your feet. Hello?
Hello, Macy. This is Mike Waring.
Oh, yes, Waring. How's it going?
I don't know yet. I've just seen your boy, Dugan, loaded to the gills and packing a rod.
Uh-oh.
You can say that again. He was planning to go gunning for you.
For me? Why?
Well, that was my fault. I tried to get him steamed up to see what he'd say.
And now he wants to feed me lead,
Yeah, but I've got his cannon.
Oh?
But I thought I ought to warn you anyway, because he might dig up another one.
Thanks, Waring, but I can take care of myself.
Yeah, sure you can, Macy. The question is, can you take care of Dugan?
Oh, hello, Mr. Waring.
Now, why don't you call me Mike?
I hardly know you.
Well, let me in. We'll go to work on that.
Please, Mr. Waring, Roger's death was quite a shock.
Well, then why not help me find out who done it?
What difference does it make now?
A lot of difference. To the murderer.
Well, I'm afraid I can't be much help.
You found the body.
I'd like to forget that.
Were you in love with Saunders?
I liked him.
Because he was a good spender?
Partly.
Of other people's money?
I don't know. I didn't ask where he got it.
I do know.
Look, if you're going to make insulting remarks...
Facts.
Goodbye, Mr. Waring.
Just a minute, Ivy. Where was Jocko Quinn when Saunders was killed?
Roger sent him out to get some cigarettes. Now, will you please go?
If you'll answer just 2 more questions.
Sorry.
I wear 11 E's. You can't possibly close the door.
What are the questions?
Was Saunders absent-minded?
What? No, of course not.
Was he a heavy smoker?
Not especially. And that's 2 questions.
You're right, you are, Angel. So long. Pardon me, you Jocko Quinn?
Yeah.
Ah, good. I heard that you eat in this bean wagon. In fact, I've heard quite a lot about you, Jocko. It's time we met.
Who are you? What do you want?
My name's Mike Waring.
Oh? I've heard about you, too, Falcon.
Well, then we ought to get along fine.
You having dinner?
No, I was just looking for you.
Well, I'm finished. Here, sister, keep the change.
Thanks.
Oh, come on, Waring, if you want to talk to me.
Sure.
Now, what do you want?
Information about Saunders' murder.
I don't know nothing.
No. Don't be so modest, Jocko.
I wasn't there.
Where were you?
Saunders sent me out for cigarettes.
You're lying, Jocko.
What?
I said you're lying, and I can prove it.
Yeah?
Yeah, Saunders had a pack of cigarettes on him when he was murdered. He wasn't a heavy smoker, so he wouldn't have sent you out to get him some. So, Jocko, what do you got to say to that?
What have I got to say? Just this?
Oh, no, you don't.
Dugan, you showed up in the nick of time. Thanks for knocking out Waring. You saved me the trouble.
I've been looking for you, Jocko.
Seems everybody's looking for me.
Yeah. Now that I've taken care of Waring, it's your turn. Come here, Jocko.
Let's take a short break. Les Damon returns as the Falcon in a moment.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
Dimension.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Boston Blackie.
Hopalong Cassidy. Edgar Bergen.
The Shadow.
John and Blanche Bickerson. The Whistler.
This is Stan Freeberg, reminding you that my friends at Radio Spirits have a free catalog listing 4,000 old-time radio shows available on high-quality cassettes and CDs. Collect your favorite episodes of The Shadow, Jack Benny, Our Miss Brooks, The Life of Riley, Suspense, Boston Blackie, and hundreds more. Call for your free catalog right now. Operators are standing by. 1-800-RADIO-48. Or if you prefer, 1-800-723-4648. We'll rush your free catalog listing all your old-time radio favorites. Just call 1-800-RADIO-48 or 1-800-723-4648. And now, Les Damon returns as the Falcon in the conclusion of The Case of the Stooges' Errand.
Hello, Corbett.
Welcome to headquarters again, Ware. Well, look at you. Who stepped on your face?
That's what I'd like to know.
You mean you got your jaw pushed out of shape like that and you don't know how it happened?
That's right.
Well, that's what comes of hitting the bottle.
It feels more like the bottle hit me. But at least I solved the case for you.
Oh, you solved it.
Mm-hmm. I know who killed Saunders.
Are you going to tell me, or do I guess?
Well, let's not wait for miracles. I'll tell you.
Don't do me any favors.
No favor. I have an account to square with Jocko.
Jocko? Is he the murderer?
He is.
You don't say.
I do say.
And you have an account to settle with him?
He's responsible for this lump on my jaw.
Thought you didn't know how you got that.
I don't, not the details. All I know, we were fighting, and all of a sudden it's lights, bells, and curtains. But so help me, I'll swear he didn't throw a punch when it happened. My eyes aren't that bad.
He just blew the man down.
I don't know. But I'm going to find out as soon as you pick up Jocko, so get to work on it.
I anticipate your every wish. We've already picked up Jocko. Now all we got to do is put him together again.
What?
Let's go down to the hospital, and you can see for yourself.
Hospital?
That's right, Waring. He was unconscious, but maybe he can talk now. You know, for a couple of boys who didn't throw many punches, you fellas sure did a lot of damage. Hello, Jocko. Visitors.
Oh, hello, Sergeant.
You know Waring, Jocko?
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, head on.
But I want to know, Jocko, what hit me?
Dugan, with the sap.
Oh.
Dugan?
Yeah, Sergeant. He come up while we was fighting. He wanted to get Waring out of the way so he could go to work on me.
What's he want to do that for?
He said he was collecting for himself and Macy. He couldn't collect from Saunders no more, so he was going to collect from me.
Yeah, with a blackjack.
Yeah. He got me in his car, tried to get me to sign a paper, and when I said no, he started swinging.
Well, I can see why you didn't want to sign away your stuff after you'd killed a man for it.
I didn't kill Saunders. He always treated me good. Why did I want to kill him?
For all the stuff he put in your name. With Saunders dead, you stand to keep it.
But I didn't kill him.
And how about that lie about the cigarettes?
Okay, so I lied. That don't make me a killer.
Well, why'd you lie?
Because I didn't go out for cigarettes. I went down to Louis' cigar stand to place a buck. I played the numbers with Louis, only I didn't want Mr. Saunders to know because he didn't like me to play. I didn't want to make trouble for Louis, so I tried to keep him out of it. That's all. What's the joke, Sergeant?
I'm not laughing at you, Jocko, but look at Mastermind here. He had the case all solved. There was just one little thing wrong with his figuring. It gave him the wrong answer.
Only an hour has passed since Mike Waring found that a private detective's lot is not always a happy one. Now the Falcon has arrived at Ivy Gray's apartment, still in search of the elusive solution to the case.
Mr. Waring, will you please go away and stop bothering me?
Sure, as soon as you tell me just exactly what happened up at Saunders' place.
I did.
I missed some of the details.
I told you I want to forget.
All right, so let's get the facts straight before you do. You found the body?
Yes.
It was in the back room of the apartment?
Yes.
How did you get in?
The door was open.
After you found the body, what did you do?
Started to leave, to call the police. At the door to the apartment, I met Jocko Quinn. He said Roger'd sent him for cigarettes.
Did you tell him about the murder?
No, not right away. I started asking questions. When he wanted to know why, I showed him the body.
And then?
Then I got out of there. Now, is that all?
Just one more question.
What is it?
What are you doing tonight, Angel?
Homicide, Sergeant Corbett speaking.
Mike Waring's out here, Sergeant.
He's out there? Well, send him in. I want him to see this.
Yes, sir.
All right, Macy, sit down next to Dugan. You on the other side of him, Jocko.
Okay.
Just what is this, Sergeant?
I'm going to prove a couple of points, but we'll wait until Waring gets in here. He's right outside.
Prove, he says. You don't have anything on us.
We'll see. All right, Waring, come right on in.
What are you so all-fired cheerful about, jolly boy?
What's the matter, Waring? Still sore that you pulled the boner?
I haven't tossed in the towel yet. Hello, Macy.
Hello, Waring.
And Jocko, what are you doing out of bed?
He's going to wrap this case right around your boy's neck, Waring.
Yeah?
Sure. Dugan told him he was collecting for himself and Macy. That means they were working together. And the beat-up of Jocko was part of a plan.
Plan? This is the first I heard of it.
That's right, Sergeant. Mr. Macy didn't know.
Yeah, well, you told me.
Even if we did have a session,
Shut up!
Must we go through all this rigmarole?
You shut up, too, Waring. We tried your way. Now it's my turn.
I like my way better.
Except it doesn't work.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, you got the case solved again?
No, not again. Still.
Huh?
I said Jocko killed Saunders. He did, and this time he's not squirming out of it.
See, Waring, I told you.
Did you, Macy?
Sure, the Falcon never fails.
I'll tell that to Sergeant Corbett. For a while, he thought the Falcon had laid a great big egg.
How'd you finally clinch it?
Well, when Jocko ran into Ivy in Saunders' apartment, he told the Saunders to send him out for cigarettes. But I proved that was a lie.
Yeah, but he explained that.
Mm-hmm. But how come he thought he could get away with that lie?
What do you mean?
Well, since Saunders didn't send Jocko out for cigarettes, Saunders would naturally trip him up on it.
But Saunders was dead.
Sure. Only how did Jocko know? Supposedly, he didn't learn of the murder until after the lie.
Oh.
Yes, if he'd been innocent, he'd have thought Saunders was alive in the apartment, and he wouldn't tell an obvious lie involving Saunders right under his nose. Therefore, he knew Saunders was dead. Therefore...
All right, Waring. I get it.
Oh, good. That's all there is to it.
You're pretty sharp, Waring. Pretty sharp.
Yeah, maybe. But there's one angle to this case even I don't get, Macy.
What's that?
I asked Ivy for a date tonight. And if the Falcon never fails, how come I'm spending the evening with you, huh?
And that was The Case of the Stooges' Errand, starring Les Damon as the Falcon, as originally broadcast November 26th, 1950.
A few days have passed since Macy and Dugan decided they weren't going to get a legal technicality to stand between them and collecting the money Rog Saunders owed them. They're also not going to let Saunders' stooge, Jocko Quinn, stand between them and the money. But Jocko knows none of this as he enters Saunders' apartment, where he's met by a white-faced Ivy Gray.
Jocko, where have you been?
Just down to get some cigarettes from Mr. Saunders. Why?
Was anyone with him when you left?
No.
Was he expecting anyone?
Only you?
You're sure?
What is this? Where is Saunders? Why doesn't he...
He's in the other room.
Well, why the questions?
Look for yourself.
Huh?
Go ahead. Right in there.
Okay. Mr. Saunders, I'm back. Hey, what's the matter with him?
He's dead. That's what's the matter with him.
Hello?
Is that the Falcon?
Yes, this is the Falcon speaking.
Macy again, Waring.
Oh, have you lost Saunders again?
In a way.
Well, I thought last time was a little too easy to be true.
I know where he is, Waring. It's not that.
Oh, well, keep it up. You're making great sense.
He's dead.
Oh. Well, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Murdered.
Am I supposed to register surprise or sympathy?
Sympathy.
For a guy who gypped his friends?
For me, the police think I did it.
Well, did you?
No.
Why not?
I've been told it's against the law.
Oh, and you never break the law.
Well, I parked overtime once, but I paid my fine.
Okay, you're a model citizen. What do you want me to do about it?
Convince the police.
It'll take more than a character reference.
That's why I'm calling on you. You can find the real killer.
Can I?
The Falcon never fails.
You dreamer, you.
This is one dream that better come true, Waring. All that depends on it is my life.
Hello, Sergeant Corbett.
Well, goody. It's Mike Waring. Did you come down to headquarters to see your client, Waring?
No, of course not, Corbett. I came down to see you.
He loves me.
To know you is to love you.
How did we get into this? What do you want, Waring?
What have you got on the Saunders killing?
He's dead.
Well, thanks so much.
His girl found the body.
Ivy Gray?
Yeah.
What's this? List of things you found on the body?
Yeah, just the usual.
Handkerchief, key, package of cigarettes, matches, coins. Any fingerprints in the apartment?
His own, the girl's, and Jocko Quinn's, guy who works for him.
So right away you suspect Macy?
Macy had a beef. Claims Saunders gypped him.
If you suspect everyone whom Saunders gypped...
We do.
Then Macy doesn't have the list?
No.
You brought him down here?
Just for questioning, we let him go.
Oh, that's too bad.
Why?
Since he's my client, I'd like to feel sure he's innocent. And nothing could give me greater confidence along that line than your thinking he's guilty. How's it going, Dugan?
Do I know you?
I know you. I've seen you in the ring.
Oh.
This what you train on? Irish, straight?
Are you going to give me a temperance lecture?
No, it's a little out of my line.
Then go away.
Macy tells me Saunders owed you 15 grand. Says you were sore when it looked like you might not get it back.
Oh, Macy says, does he? Macy says. I tell you, he talks too much. I'll fix Macy so he doesn't talk so much.
Like you fixed Saunders?
Huh? A wise guy, eh? Maybe you want something too.
No. You don't do so good with a busted mitt and a stomach full of fog juice, Dugan. Come on, I'll help you up.
Oh, my head.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, my head.
What's this in your pocket?
What do you mean?
I think I'd better keep this until you come out of dreamland.
Hey, give me that,
You've had too many shots of alcohol to risk letting you take any shots with a gun. Now, come on your feet. Hello?
Hello, Macy. This is Mike Waring.
Oh, yes, Waring. How's it going?
I don't know yet. I've just seen your boy, Dugan, loaded to the gills and packing a rod.
Uh-oh.
You can say that again. He was planning to go gunning for you.
For me? Why?
Well, that was my fault. I tried to get him steamed up to see what he'd say.
And now he wants to feed me lead,
Yeah, but I've got his cannon.
Oh?
But I thought I ought to warn you anyway, because he might dig up another one.
Thanks, Waring, but I can take care of myself.
Yeah, sure you can, Macy. The question is, can you take care of Dugan?
Oh, hello, Mr. Waring.
Now, why don't you call me Mike?
I hardly know you.
Well, let me in. We'll go to work on that.
Please, Mr. Waring, Roger's death was quite a shock.
Well, then why not help me find out who done it?
What difference does it make now?
A lot of difference. To the murderer.
Well, I'm afraid I can't be much help.
You found the body.
I'd like to forget that.
Were you in love with Saunders?
I liked him.
Because he was a good spender?
Partly.
Of other people's money?
I don't know. I didn't ask where he got it.
I do know.
Look, if you're going to make insulting remarks...
Facts.
Goodbye, Mr. Waring.
Just a minute, Ivy. Where was Jocko Quinn when Saunders was killed?
Roger sent him out to get some cigarettes. Now, will you please go?
If you'll answer just two more questions.
Sorry.
I wear 11 E's. You can't possibly close the door.
What are the questions?
Was Saunders absent-minded?
What? No, of course not.
Was he a heavy smoker?
Not especially. And that's two questions.
You're right, you are, Angel. So long. Pardon me, you Jocko Quinn?
Yeah.
Good. I heard that you eat in this bean wagon. In fact, I've heard quite a lot about you, Jocko. It's time we met.
Who are you? What do you want?
My name's Mike Waring.
Oh? I've heard about you, too, Falcon.
Well, then we ought to get along fine.
You having dinner?
No, I was just looking for you.
Well, I'm finished. Here, sister, keep the change.
Thanks.
Oh, come on, Waring, if you want to talk to me.
Sure.
Now, what do you want?
Information about Saunders' murder.
I don't know nothing.
Now. Don't be so modest, Jocko.
I wasn't there.
Where were you?
Saunders sent me out for cigarettes.
You're lying, Jocko.
What?
I said you're lying, and I can prove it.
Yeah?
Yeah, Saunders had a pack of cigarettes on him when he was murdered. He wasn't a heavy smoker, so he wouldn't have sent you out to get him some. So, Jocko, what do you got to say to that?
What have I got to say? Just this?
Oh, no, you don't.
Dugan, you showed up in the nick of time. Thanks for knocking out Waring. You saved me the trouble.
I've been looking for you, Jocko.
Seems everybody's looking for me.
Yeah. Now that I've taken care of Waring, it's your turn. Come here, Jocko.
Let's take a short break. Les Damon returns as the Falcon. In a moment.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
Dimension.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Boston Blackie.
Hopalong Cassidy.
Edgar Bergen.
The Shadow.
John and Blanche Bickerson, the Whistler.
This is Stan Freeberg, reminding you that my friends at Radio Spirits have a free catalog listing 4,000 old-time radio shows available on high-quality cassettes and CDs. Collect your favorite episodes of The Shadow, Jack Benny, Our Miss Brooks, The Life of Riley, Suspense, Boston Blackie, and hundreds more. Call for your free catalog right now. Operators are standing by. 1-800-RADIO-48. Or if you prefer, 1-800-723-4648. We'll rush your free catalog listing all your old-time radio favorites. Just call 1-800-RADIO-48 or 1-800-723-4648. And now, Les Damon returns as the Falcon in the conclusion of The Case of the STOOGE'S, ERRAND.
Hello, Corbett.
Welcome to headquarters again, Ware. Well, look at you. Who stepped on your face?
That's what I'd like to know.
You mean you got your jaw pushed out of shape like that and you don't know how it happened?
That's right.
Well, that's what comes of hitting the bottle.
It feels more like the bottle hit me. But at least I solved the case for you.
Oh, you solved it.
Mm-hmm. I know who killed Saunders.
Are you going to tell me, or do I guess?
Well, let's not wait for miracles. I'll tell you.
Don't do me any favors.
No favor. I have an account to square with Jocko.
Jocko? Is he the murderer?
He is.
You don't say.
I do say.
And you have an account to settle with him?
He's responsible for this lump on my jaw.
Thought you didn't know how you got that.
I don't, not the details. All I know, we were fighting, and all of a sudden it's lights, bells, and curtains. But so help me, I'll swear he didn't throw a punch when it happened. My eyes aren't that bad.
He just blew the man down.
I don't know. But I'm going to find out as soon as you pick up Jocko, so get to work on it.
I anticipate your every wish. We've already picked up Jocko. Now all we got to do is put him together again.
What?
Let's go down to the hospital, and you can see for yourself.
Hospital?
That's right, Waring. He was unconscious, but maybe he can talk now. You know, for a couple of boys who didn't throw many punches, you fellas sure did a lot of damage. Hello, Jocko. Visitors.
Hello, Sergeant.
You know Waring, Jocko?
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, head on.
But I want to know, Jocko, what hit me?
Dugan, with the sap.
Oh.
Dugan?
Yeah, Sergeant. He come up while we was fighting. He wanted to get Waring out of the way so he could go to work on me.
What's he want to do that for?
He said he was collecting for himself and Macy. He couldn't collect from Saunders no more, so he was going to collect from me.
Yeah, with a blackjack.
Yeah. He got me in his car, tried to get me to sign a paper, and when I said no, he started swinging.
Well, I can see why you didn't want to sign away your stuff after you'd killed a man for it.
I didn't kill Saunders. He always treated me good. Why did I want to kill him?
For all the stuff he put in your name. With Saunders dead, you stand to keep it.
But I didn't kill him.
And how about that lie about the cigarettes?
Okay, so I lied. That don't make me a killer.
Well, why'd you lie?
Because I didn't go out for cigarettes. I went down to Louis' cigar stand to place a buck. I played the numbers with Louis, only I didn't want Mr. Saunders to know because he didn't like me to play. I didn't want to make trouble for Louis, so I tried to keep him out of it. That's all. What's the joke, Sergeant?
I'm not laughing at you, Jocko, but look at Mastermind here. He had the case all solved. There was just one little thing wrong with his figuring. It gave him the wrong answer.
Only an hour has passed since Mike Waring found that a private detective's lot is not always a happy one. Now the Falcon has arrived at Ivy Gray's apartment, still in search of the elusive solution to the case.
Mr. Waring, will you please go away and stop bothering me?
Sure, as soon as you tell me just exactly what happened up at Saunders' place.
I did.
I missed some of the details.
I told you I want to forget.
All right, so let's get the facts straight before you do. You found the body?
Yes.
It was in the back room of the apartment?
Yes.
How did you get in?
The door was open.
After you found the body, what did you do?
Started to leave, to call the police. At the door to the apartment, I met Jocko Quinn. He said Roger'd send him for cigarettes.
Did you tell him about the murder?
No, not right away. I started asking questions. When he wanted to know why, I showed him the body.
And then?
Then I got out of there. Now, is that all?
Just one more question.
What is it?
What are you doing tonight, Angel?
Homicide, Sergeant Corbett speaking.
Mike Waring's out here, Sergeant.
He's out there? Well, send him in. I want him to see this.
Yes, sir.
All right, Macy, sit down next to Dugan. You on the other side of him, Jocko.
Okay.
Just what is this, Sergeant?
I'm going to prove a couple of points, but we'll wait until Waring gets in here. He's right outside.
Prove, he says. You don't have anything on us.
We'll see. All right, Waring, come right on in.
What are you so all-fired cheerful about, jolly boy?
What's the matter, Waring? Still sore that you pulled the boner?
I haven't tossed in the towel yet. Hello, Macy.
Hello, Waring.
And Jocko, what are you doing out of bed?
He's going to wrap this case right around your boy's neck, Waring.
Yeah?
Sure. Dugan told him he was collecting for himself and Macy. That means they were working together. And the beat-up of Jocko was part of a plan.
Man, this is the first I heard of it.
That's right, Sergeant. Mr. Macy didn't know.
Yeah, well, you told me.
Even if we did have a
Shut up!
Must we go through all this rigmarole?
You shut up, too, Waring. We tried your way. Now it's my turn.
I like my way better.
Except it doesn't work.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, you got the case solved again?
No, not again. Still.
Huh?
I said Jocko killed Saunders. He did, and this time he's not squirming out of it.
See, Waring, I told you.
Did you, Macy?
Sure, the Falcon never fails.
I'll tell that to Sergeant Corbett. For a while, he thought the Falcon had laid a great big egg.
How'd you finally clinch it?
Well, when Jocko ran into Ivy in Saunders' apartment, he told the Saunders to send him out for cigarettes. But I proved that was a lie.
Yeah, but he explained that.
Mm-hmm. But how come he thought he could get away with that lie?
What do you mean?
Well, since Saunders didn't send Jocko out for cigarettes, Saunders would naturally trip him up on it.
But Saunders was dead.
Sure. Only how did Jocko know? Supposedly, he didn't learn of the murder until after the lie.
Oh.
Yes, if he'd been innocent, he'd have thought Saunders was alive in the apartment, and he wouldn't tell an obvious lie involving Saunders right under his nose. Therefore, he knew Saunders was dead. Therefore...
All right, Waring. I get it.
Oh, good. That's all there is to it.
You're pretty sharp, Waring. Pretty sharp.
Yeah, maybe. But there's one angle to this case even I don't get, Macy.
What's that?
I asked Ivy for a date tonight. And if the Falcon never fails, how come I'm spending the evening with you, huh?